Wah. Babu, sorry. Hold up, there's no music. Give me a moment. Hey, that's fine. That is okay. That is fine. Oh, nice. Thank you so much for the 5 months. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. If you guys are like wondering, wow, you sound tired, it's because I am. I was gonna stream yesterday, but I had a bunch of errands I needed to run and it went on like way too long. So I didn't get a chance to stream yesterday. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm at the Twitch side. YouTube has their own little copyright free track. We get like the cool music here on Twitch though. Happy Sunday, Shipwrecks. It's the beginning of the week. I always thought Sunday was like the first day of the week. And then Monday's the second day. But then other people will tell me, no, sorry. Actually, the first day of the week is Monday. And I'm like, really? I always thought Sunday was the first day of the week. Well, anyways, let me start the timer. I just realized I didn't even start the timer. Yeah, I'm like, Sunday I think is the first. I've always seen it as the first day of the week. It's always dreaded Piku Monday. No, for real. I have an exam on Wednesday. So I'm cooked. I actually haven't started studying for it yet. And I need to because it's a very memorization heavy exam. So not the week beginning. I've always considered it the first day of the week. Because like the calendar reads, at least the calendars I read, Sunday's always the first day of the week. So I've always interpreted Sunday as the first day. Like you have a day off at the beginning of the week and then a day off at the end of the week. It's Sunday for me. Yeah, it's Sunday today. It is 1:15. Sorry I was on the starting soon screen. You know what I realized? I should probably get off of the starting soon screen when ads are not rolling. So I was waiting for that last Twitch ad to finish rolling and I was like, all right, I'll go in. I'll I'll click start stream. But yeah, I hope you guys had a wonderful week and I ran a bunch of errands yesterday. I got gas. I was doing a bunch of grocery shop. I think I went to like 2-3 different stores. I went to a lot of stores. I went to a lot of stores. Yeah. So I did a lot of stuff yesterday and I was like, I don't have the energy or time to stream. So I didn't end up streaming yesterday. So hopefully today's fine. I don't typically stream on Sundays, which I think Sundays are usually my off days. But yeah, I only have, let's see. Oh my God. Wait, chat, I only have 1, 2. Oh my God, I only have like 3 weeks left of class or less than 3 weeks. I am so incredibly excited, chat, for when I am done with this semester, because that means we get to spend more time together and play games. I think I'm gonna start playing Nikke after I'm done with the semester. I think I'm gonna start playing Nikke. We shall see. We shall see. I have so many things. I want to play more Tomodachi Life. I want to play God, I want to play the Pokemon Too Many Types. That sounds fun, and I do want to get my first Nuzlocke going this summer. I also need to get the tag lock done this week. I think I'm gonna do that this weekend, though. But yeah, just to give you guys a heads up this week, I will probably be streaming Tuesday at noon. Don't know what I'm streaming yet. Probably reacting. Thursday, I actually have a collab, which I'm really excited. I am gonna be collabing this week with Mamie, Arisa, and Leah from Glitch Stars. We're gonna be playing Slay the Spire too. And then I'm probably gonna be streaming Friday and then sometime this weekend. Yes. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Trust. Yeah, we're gonna be reacting to Lockstin and Gnoggin today. I love their videos. I haven't reacted to them in a hot minute. Their videos are always super fun. Super duper fun. I'm very, very engaged whenever I watch their videos. Oh, I did post about it on Twitter. I am running a giveaway for some Poseidon merch. So, if you guys want a bundle of my latest merch drop, I am rolling for a winner in 2 days' time. So if you haven't done so yet, go join the giveaway. Submit for the giveaway. Yes. Because the winner will be drawn on Tuesday this week. Yeah, he's genuinely nice. I love chatting with him. Whoa! Oh my god, you guys are friends! I'm too peepo shy. I feel like I'm at this point now. I don't know if maybe this is just a side Delulu thing. I'm like really scared to reach out to like non-VTuber content creators. Cause okay, here's the thing. There's like this stigma where I feel like people judge me based on I just realized the Twitch music was never playing this whole time. Oh no, I was yapping this whole time without music on the Twitch side. That's fine. That's okay. But I think there's been like less of a stigma now, but I feel like I get judged a lot. Maybe this is just me projecting. I have no idea. But I feel like people judge me just because I'm a VTuber. They see that I'm a VTuber and they're like, no, I'm good. Because it definitely has happened. It definitely has happened where I've like wanted to talk to people or like get to know people, and then they're like, oh, she's a VTuber. I kind of don't even want to. So I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. I need to reach out to more people. I need to reach out. I'm just like, I'm too people shy. I'm too baby. You think you'll still be Subathon even after your class is finished? I hope not. I for sure know we're not going to be ending today because I'm actually putting myself at a hard cap today. I'm going to be ending stream around 5. So, yeah. I'm going to be ending stream around 5 p.m. Pacific time because I have some stuff I need to turn in today. And I can't stream for too long. I cannot stream for too long. I won't be yapping too much. I won't be yapping too much during this portion so we can get to the reacting because I tend to take a while. But I hope the subathon is over by the time I finish classes. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But yeah. I need to be better about that. But I'm really excited because once I am off classes, I should be able to stream more often and stream more stuff. More things. I'm hoping to stream 4 or 5 days a week, but maybe I'm biting a little bit too much. I don't want to have to worry about assignments and stuff. I think I have a whole project I'm still in the developments with. I'm working on. I have like a paper and I have like a few more exams. Yeah, some of my professors are trying to finish like our like all of our exams before the finals week, and I'm like, brother, just drop one of the exams and or just put it together with the final. I don't know. Clam slam. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted. We're back up to 5 hours. Yeah, we're definitely not finishing the timer. Thank you so much. Oh my god, we're only 7 subs away from the next goal. What the fuck? What the hell, Leonde? 5 days a week. Yeah, that's a lot of days a week. It's a lot of days a week. That's why I've been streaming so much reacting. I think before I was only streaming reacting like twice a week. And then like the other days were just games and stuff. But because I don't have much time to stream, all I've been streaming recently is reacting. 7 more for plushie. Oh my god. We have to put that into development now. Fox Cyber, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have a lot of things I want to like do during the summer. I want to collab more. I want to do more covers. I want to start. We haven't started development on the original song yet. That's still kind of like we're looking for producers. I want to get that started. I want to play more games. I want to do more stuff. I want to do more. I just wish I like kick myself all the time because I feel bad that I guess I only have been reacting, and I know some of my viewers are like, Sai, can you use something that isn't reacting? And I'm like, brother, I'm sorry. That is like one of the like more chill things I can do, and 2, I need to react for my second channel. Yeah, I'm trying to do as much as I can. But once this all settles, we should be good. And I also have like a nice project I'm working on right now that I'm hopefully will be done next month. I'm like fingers crossed, please be done next month. Please be done. Fridge on more Soul Link. Yeah, I don't know when me and Nova are gonna pick up Soul Link again. It's definitely been a while. If I am being realistic with you guys, I don't know if we will be picking it back up. Is it the plush? We're only 7 away from the plush. Only 7 away. We're almost there. Almost there. almost there. 507 away from Kaizo. Okay, please note that it says attempt. I never said I would finish it. I will attempt it though. I'll attempt it for at least 1 stream. Cause that sounds like hell. Oh my god. Kaizomon is something else, man. Kaizomon is crazy. Kaizomon got me going loco. Would Maple coach you through it? I don't know. I don't know if she'd be interested in doing that. I have no idea. I need to reach out to Maple. We'll be doing more too many times. I would like to, yeah. Probably going into next month. But yeah, I need to do the tag lock thing because that's the most important stream I need to do probably this week. But it will be towards the end of the week. It'll probably be next Sunday. And then we'll pass it off to the next person. And it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be really chill. Hopefully I don't fuck up the file. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'm in a tag lock hosted by Slimbo from Sox VTuber Agency. So I think like 6 other VTubers before me worked on the file. I have to work on the 7th gym and everything up to a certain point. Apparently there were a few deaths already, and I'm really hoping that I don't contribute to any of those deaths. So someone made Kaizomon even harder. Like, why? It's already challenging as it is. Yeah, I don't know. There's some masochists out there that just really like being in pain and playing, you know? I don't have patience for that. That's why I admire people who do like challenges like that, because I don't think I could ever. I don't have patience for that. That's why I play Pokemon very chill. Like, I know there were some people, whenever I play Pokemon on stream, some people are like, well, why aren't you nuzlocking this? And here's the thing. Usually when I play a Pokemon game for the first time, I do a very chill playthrough, like a very like general playthrough where, all right, I'm gonna get my 6. If they die, I can just revive them. I can use items during battle. It's all good. But I guess there's some people that feel that I need to challenge myself more. But at the same time, I'm sitting here like, yes, I agree. I want to do more nuzlocks and stuff. But if I'm playing a game for the first time, let me enjoy it. I know that's like, I understand why MJTV doesn't like doing nuzlocks either. I think me and him have like very similar reasons. It's very stressful. It's very, very stressful. So, but I do want to do them. I do want to do them. I actually have, oh, excuse me. I want to nuzlocke Pokemon Black this coming summer. Yeah, I want to do Pokemon Black. Either Pokemon Black or Pokemon White. Because I really like both of those games. They're really good. They're really, really, really good. I don't know if I want to do another Gen 4 game. I love Gen 4, but I feel like we played a lot of Gen 4 on this channel. People want an even harder Kaizo Ironmon? Yeah, there's people who always want something more difficult. People enjoy having the challenge. Black or White 2 is the real question. Yeah, I'm probably going to do the first one. Black and White 2, though, is really good, too. But I think it makes sense if I do the first one first. I hope Pokemon does another game like that, where they make, like, a direct sequel, not, like, a remake. You know? I would say you should only do Nuzlocke if you're familiar with the game and really want to. Exactly. Because I love Gen 5. I think I've replayed Gen 5 a few times. Like, definitely more than 4 times. Super Kaiser right now, she's also playing a different Super Kaiser. She's crazy. I don't know how she does it. I don't know how she does it. Yeah, I want to do more Pokemon TCG too. I know a lot of people miss those streams. Some people really enjoy watching me play TCG. So we'll probably dabble into that this summer again. Also, my birthday is this summer. I don't know if I'm gonna do like anything super special this year other than like maybe a cover and a merch drop. I don't think I'm gonna do like a donathon. I'm hoping Subathon's over by my birthday though. I think for sure it'll be over by my birthday. I think for sure. Birthday plus Subathon stream. Spoiler, it won't be. I was talking with some other managers, and they were like telling me like maybe you should decrease the time per sub for your subathon if you want it to be over. And I'm like, that's actually a good idea. Either that or I put a hard cap. I actually think this last goal at 6,500 will be my hard cap. Like that's if we hit 6,500, I think that's it. I think we're just capping it there and we're just like, all right, we're done. Subathon's over. Subathon's over. There's no more goals after that one. So for the new Subathon starts. Usually, I think last year for my birthday, I did a donathon. But I really like doing subathons because I like making sure my viewers get like cool emotes. Yeah. So I will probably cap this is probably the ASMR YouTube channel is probably going to be the last goal. We'll see. I'm very much someone that likes to play things by ear. I like having like a rough plan, but I also like having a little bit of wiggle room to be like, oh, things can change. So, you know, who knows? Maybe there's some other goals I will want to add. We'll see. But that's if we hit 6,500. That's if we hit it. But yeah, I'm not gonna do anything too crazy for my birthday this year. I think it'll be like a shorter stream. I don't know. We'll see. When we hit, brother, you know how many subs we are away? That's a lot of subs. That's a lot. That's too many subs. Yeah, we are now going almost into month 5 of this subathon, and I'm sitting here like maybe it's time. Maybe it's time we start halving the time we start putting a hard cap. Bryce, thank you so much for the YouTube membership. It's crazy how you first see me advertise very degenerate now. I mean, yeah, people look at my design and they're like, wow, she's down bad, and then it's not. Yeah, I think we were talking about it last time. I am getting a 2.5 at some point. Is it this one? Oh, no, it's not that. Is it this one? Yeah, we're getting a more covered up version of Psy. We're getting a more covered up version, so I'm more friendly. Do you have planned to Soul Link with other people, as well as maybe other Mythos members? Maybe. We have a new wave of girls coming in soon. I really want to do stuff with all of them. I think the only person that, I could be wrong, but as far as I know, the only person I know who has actually done Soul Links before is Thor. I've seen Thor do Soul Links before. So, I'm not gonna say anything past that. But maybe if she wants to do a Soul Link, I'm down. I'm really excited for you guys to meet the new girls. They're all like super duper sweet. Odin's very mommy. Freya will take care of me. Loki is a disaster in like the best way possible. And Thor is girl failure. Do only gift subs count? No. If you are subscribed yourself, it'll add. All types of Twitch subs count. Listen, I'm only a gooner past 9 p.m. Pacific time. That's the only time I'm a gooner. Will you react to Lux's kicks? I have no idea what that is. I can't pronounce that. I'll tell you something now. We're reacting to some every type videos today. Yes. Base Dragon, thank you so much for the sub. We're inching closer and closer to the plushie. Inching closer and closer. I low-key want the plushie. I think the plushie is very cute. Very, very, very cute. But yeah, it's gonna be a busy summer here at Mythos. We're sponsoring Offkai. We're sponsoring a part of Offkai, so that's pretty fun. And it's cool because Mythos will actually have a booth at Offkai this year. I am trying, okay. Before anybody says anything, yes, I will be at Offkai. No, I'm not doing any sort of viewer meetups, but I will be going incognito. But I'm like trying to be like, is there a way if I at the Offkai booth, if I sell bread? What if I sold Poseidon baked bread at the Mythos booth, but I don't think that's allowed. I don't think they'll allow me to sell like food. It was funny, I was talking with some of the Mythos staff about it recently. Like, it'd be funny if they let me sell bread, but I don't think the Offkai staff wants that. Let me see. I don't think we're allowed to do that. I think it has to be like actual items. It can't be food. Sell artwork, merchandise, or services. Thank you, Sid, for the 29 months. Ew. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, no, I have to ask permission from Offkai, but I don't think they'll give it to me. Gave out grapes last year. That's hilarious. That is so funny. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for Offkai this year. I've never been. I've attended virtually 2 years. The first year I was a special guest for Offkai, and then the second year I did a panel at Offkai. And I'm wondering if I want to do a panel again this year, but I don't think I am. I was given the opportunity. Mythos staff was asking me, and I was like, I mean, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, I have to ask permission from Offkai. I think it'd be really funny though if I sold Psy baked loaves, and then like people were like, wow, I got a loaf baked by Psy. But I'm now wondering if I even did that, how would I transport everything? You walk around as Psy cosplay. I'm definitely not. I used to cosplay when I was like younger, but definitely not anymore. Psy's bakery and vasectomies. Lamau. Probably not possible. Yeah, I'll be going incognito. I'm not doing any meetups or anything like that. But I think I've never been to San Jose before. So I think it'd be really fun to go see what is going on over there. Yeah, almost requires a temporary food permit. Yep. I mean, that's not the problem. Like that's easy for me to get. Like I'm aware of how the process of doing that, but it's just like, I don't know if I can do that. You're still young and hip, Psy? I am very young and hip. Swear. Swear. So my Psy merch arrived. What? Guys, if you guys got your merch from Murasaki or just like any Psy merch in general, please take pictures and either post in my Discord server or post on Twitter. I will retweet it. I love seeing people take pictures of my merch. It makes me so happy. Want to try Nikkei? I will probably be dabbling into it next month when I have more time. Share on Discord later. Yippee! Will you be wearing a sunglasses and fake mustache for claps? For claps. Maybe. That's a good idea. I won't put the stand in jar. Thank God! Thank God! Let's go! Oh, Lord. That's so funny. I need to do more cool. Like, okay, question chat. If I were to do more merch, what would you guys like to see? Like something, like, it could be like general merch. Like, I know some people were asking, like, well, you should do more keychains or like stickers and stuff. Or like pins or something. And I'm like, oh, I'm listening. Dice? That would be so cool. Like D&D dice? Keycaps? Keycaps would be cool. Those shirts people wear at concert. Oh, happies? I don't know, happies? Happies? Is that what they're called? Is that what we call them nowadays? A figure of your model. Those are very expensive. Those are very expensive. We could do like, I don't know, a mug. Drink your, oh, like a side cup? Like a cup. Does your Discord have stream pings? Yeah, they should have stream pings. I can check right now. I have the Twitch pings where it's the Shipwrecks Live. The Ikamaru bot should be pinging you. Walking around and the VTubers found a booth that sells dice themed reviews. Yeah, that sounds so cool. Yeah, I was talking with like some people and we were talking about like maybe doing like posters or postcards, like prints and stuff. Would that be something you guys are interested in? Cap, shirts, maybe pants. I really want to do apparel this year, but I want it to be like its own like little separate drop. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I think that would be cool. I think that would be kind of sick, actually. Yeah, well, I'll have to see. Yeah, if you do the Shipwrecks Live ping, it should ping you every time I'm live on Twitch. I want a bag tag to put on my keychain. Bag tags are so cool. Actually, I love bag tags. I really like bag tags. I have them on my purses. I love having like themed bag tags. Yeah, maybe we can do a happy or something. But here's the thing, I'm not super idol focused. I want to do more music. I want to Anonymous. Thank you for the 10 gifted. Wow, I guess we're doing the plush. Yippee. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted. I appreciate you. Thank you. How a squid or your plush of your squid? Maybe. I think for this one though, I'm definitely doing a plush of me. Thank you again. I guess we have, what, 4 more sub goals to go for claps? Maybe, mayhaps. Time for the jar. No, not the jar. Please. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I just want to be free. Yeah, we have 500 more until Kaizo, which is gonna be super duper silly. Please keep in mind, it says attempt. Attempt. Because I forgot the T. I'm gonna attempt the Kaizo Iron Mod. For the front of my car? Ooh! Ooh. I know, I saw some VTubers doing more like license plate merch. Oh my god, can I tell you guys about something that happened a few weeks ago? Enough time has passed now, I can... So a few weeks ago, I got my license plate stolen. I was literally... It's so funny because this happened in the middle of a stream, by the way. This happened in the middle of a stream. Yeah, it happened a few weeks ago. I can talk about it now. Thank you guys for the hype train. I was so mad because I finished stream, right? And then apparently my neighbor was knocking on my door a few times. And like, I was like, what huh? And my license plate got stolen in the middle of stream. I was really mad. I was really mad. Everything's fine though. But you know what made me happy? They didn't steal my license plate cover. If they stole my license plate cover, it would have been over. Like, what do they gain from it? Using my license plate to get away with crimes? They'll use my license plate to get away from crimes, right? So they'll put my license plate on their car, and then if they get like ticketed or something, well, it's not the right license plate. That's why people will steal them. Yeah. So I had to like file a police report. I had to call the DMV, which we all know how that goes. Yeah, they stole my tags too. Dude, you know what would have upset me? If they stole my car wash thing. Because I have a little like thing for my car to get my car washed, like a sticker. And if they stole my car wash sticker, that would have been over. Like, that would have been GG. I would have actually been so freaking pissed. Poseidon going 150 miles an hour on the freeway. I will have you know I'm a safe driver. I just have road rage. Internal road rage. Yeah, no, people are something else. It's been a few weeks, so I'm like, now I can be like, yeah, that fucking sucked. I was so mad. You guys would not believe. But at least they didn't steal my license plate cover. That I'm very thankful for. That I'm like, oh, thank God. These people don't know how to drive. I am very proud to say I've never been pulled over by the cops. Poseidon from the talent agency Mythos found escaping the scene of a bank robbery. Crying in the club. I would have cried. Yeah, I would like to think I am a safe driver. I'm not super cuckoo crazy on the road, all right? I am very, very safe. I also have a lot of driving anxiety. I get scared to drive sometimes. That's when you bribe the cops with the bread. That's illegal! That's illegal! She's a maniac. No! I'm a maniac as I am, but I'm not a maniac on the road. I'm not a maniac on the road. You know the person who did it? No. If I did, it would have been over already. That guy would have been beat up. Have some coconut bread. Coconut bread, very good. Illegal if you're caught. No, Chad, do not commit crimes, please and thank you. Crimes are very illegal. Don't do that. Do not do that. So I would bite their legs off. I would. I would be very, very violent. Trust. Puzzle speed tickets in all the states. No. I mean, that's why you file a police report, right? So that way, if anything happens with that license plate, they can, like, look back and be like, oh, yeah, this license plate's stolen. So it doesn't come back to me. That's why it's very, very important to do police reports so that you have something on file. So now every single time my license plate gets pinged, it'll just be like marked as stolen, because that's what happened. That is what happened. Yeah, people are fucking weird. People, it's a dangerous world, honestly. Anything can happen. And here's the thing, I live in actually a very safe part of Atlantis. That's like the crazy part to me. There's like no crime that happens here. It's very quiet, very peaceful. And I'm like, what the heck happened? Hello? But yeah, apparently I wasn't the only one. Some of my neighbors were talking about it too. They're like, yeah, mine's gone too. And I'm like, ah! Ah! VTuber Fee, welcome in. First time chatter. Oh, all right. I think we should start reacting. I yapped a little too long. I yapped for like half an hour. But I know. Where is? To move some stuff around. What was this song? I like this song already, just by the way it sounds. Also, for the record, chat, I'm still feeling the spring allergies have been getting. That's what I was going to talk about. I am now the mother to a tomato and green bell pepper plant. I bought some yesterday, and they're just sitting out, and I have to water them. They're really nice. I'm very, very excited. I want to grow tomatoes. That's like the big thing I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted a tomato. Where's my browser? So size of MILF. You know, maybe. I'm very excited. Very, very excited. Do you know how many sandwiches I can make with one tomato? Probably one or two, but I'm really excited. Tomatoes are yummy. I just don't like tomatoes in burgers. Like, I'll have them in sandwiches, like regular sandwiches. I'm so weird. I just cannot stand them in like burgers. I like pickles, I like tomatoes, but I can't eat them in burgers. Like, I'll eat them by themselves. But I'll have them in, like, regular sandwiches. Like, if I get, like a ham sandwich from Subway or something, God forbid I go to Subway. I've told this story so many times on stream, but I don't like Subway. Subway will never be my first choice. Subway will never be my first choice when it comes to finding food. I don't know. But yeah, I can't, I'll eat tomatoes and pickles on regular sandwiches, but just not on burgers. Because I'm just weird like that. Also, I've been getting mosquito bites, and it's and my leg has been so itchy. My leg has been so itchy. I hate mosquito bites. I like them in burgers. Okay, here is like my favorite fast food burger is In-N-Out. Okay, us West Coast girlies, the West Coast shipwrecks know already. In-N-Out is fire. Okay, Kira Queen, thank you so much for the follow. When I go to In-N-Out, I usually get I get a double with, if I'm like really watching my carb intake that week, I'll get like the protein style, which is the protein style is really good. But I usually get a double animal style, no tomato, grilled onions. I'll sometimes ask for the bun toasted, sometimes. And then I'll ask for chopped chilies in the burger, okay? Chopped chilies in the burger, fire, okay? You get your fries light well. If I'm really, like, fiending for food, I'll get animal fries, even though I'm not a huge animal fry person. I understand the hype, but I'm not, like, super cuckoo crazy about animal fries, alright? They're fine. They're okay. They're okay. But I like my fries light well. And then I'll get, like, the light pink lemonade. That is the Poseidon In-N-Out order. If I'm really big backing that night, I'll get a Neapolitan shake. But usually that's, like, once a year. That's, like, a once-a-year thing. Yes. I actually really like... So, I'm dieting right now. I had a cheat day yesterday, but I'm back on the dieting. But usually if I'm dieting and I'm, like, having to get, like, fast food because my friends want to go get fast food or I just do not have time to make food, I will, I always kind of want In-N-Out. Because here's the thing with In-N-Out, right? I can trust that they don't put preservatives in their food. Okay, because I cannot tell you how many times I've been to a fast food place and, like, I could see them opening the bag of frozen fries. Okay, and I'm just like, what is in this bag? I don't know, you might have, like, genetically modified these potatoes for all I know, right? You might have put something in there. But in In-N-Out, you could see them, like, slicing the potatoes. You could see them, like, get the ground beef, you know, you see that it's not like processed food. Like, when I eat fast food, my stomach hurts, okay? But for some reason, well, I know why, In-N-Out doesn't hurt my stomach. Because the stuff, the food there is fresh. It's not frozen. It's not frozen in bags. So, yeah, it's actually pretty good. It's not bad. You can get some pretty good macros from the protein style of the burger. I actually really like the protein style. It feels like a lettuce wrap. It's because it is. Wendy's. I've never gone in their 50-piece bucket of nuggets. I feel like I'd have to split that amongst like 4 meals. 4 or 5 meals. I do like Wendy's nuggets though. Wendy's has really good nuggets. Honestly, you know what's slept on Wendy's? Their baked potatoes. I always get their baked potatoes. Whenever I go to Wendy's, I'm like, one sour cream and chive baked potato, please. And thank you. They're super yummy. Baked potatoes slap. Baked potatoes are awesome. there was like a phase. So sometimes I go through food phases, and I went through like a baked potato phase where all I ate was like baked potatoes twice a day. Meal number 1, singular baked potato. Meal number 2, another baked potato. And that was literally it. I go through food phases. I've never had their baked potato with chili. I always just get the sour cream and chive one because I like sour cream. Yeah, I bought some sweet potatoes yesterday, and I think I'm just gonna have some roasted sweet potatoes with like chicken tonight for dinner. That sounds so good. I love sweet potatoes. Oh my god, you guys are gonna kill me for this take. Sweet potato fries are better than regular fries. I said it. I wish more food places did sweet potato fries. I feel like it's so hard for me to find a food place that does sweet potato fries. And when I do find them, oh my god, they're so good. You guys just haven't had good sweet potato fries. They are fire. They are so delicious. I don't know why. I feel like sweet potato fries taste better with ketchup. They're so good. Great take. Thank you. Thank you. I am a sweet potato girly for life. Also, sweet potatoes are the best potatoes for you. They are the best potatoes for you. Because you think they maybe aren't because they're sweet, but they actually are. The habit? I've had the habit like once or twice. The first time I had the habit, it made my tummy hurt though. You know, I don't know. I like them with barbecue sauce. See, I'm very picky. With fries, I only ever like fry sauce or ketchup. But then for barbecue sauce, I only ever have that with chicken. Like chicken nuggets or chicken strips. That's when I'll have barbecue sauce. I'm very particular. Only certain things get sauced, you know, with different sauce. That sounds... I need to stop saying that word. No more, no. Next time I say sauce outside of this sentence, I'm ending stream. Stream's over. Sweet potato tots. Yum. What about gravy? I don't consume much gravy. I only ever have gravy with like Jollibee. The Filipino shipwrecks now. The Filipino shipwrecks now. I've only really eat gravy with like Jollibee chicken. If you have had Jollibee or you haven't, I don't know what they put in their gravy, but I really think they might put like, it tastes like they put some addictive in it because it's so good. It's so good. I don't know what's in Jollibee gravy. Can somebody leak? Can somebody leak what is in there? Yeah, I actually think they might put crack in it. I don't know. Dude, my younger sibling, when we would grow up going to Jollibee, I'm being so dead ass. And this girl, I'm not even, she's like a twig. Like she is so thin. But her Jollibee order, it's like chicken and a large cup of gravy. And I'm being so serious. This girl will drink the gravy. She drinks it. She doesn't even dip it in the chicken. She just drinks it by the cup. And I'm sitting here like, what? Listen, man, I like food and all, but that's crazy. That's insane. But she likes it, and I get it. You know, it's the Jollibee gravy is really delicious. And eat like half a Costco pizza. Dude, I had no idea how many calories were in a singular slice of Costco pizza until like I started like counting, right? Do you know how much is in a singular slice of Costco pizza? 600 to 700 calories. And I'm sitting here like, I'm never eating Costco pizza again. I'm never eating Costco pizza again. I'm never eating this. You know my favorite thing at Costco though? Chicken bake. You know, what happened to me saying that I would stop yapping? I mean, react. 600, 700. So many. The Costco pizza is so greasy, the paper plate it's served on becomes edible. Oh my god. I have a friend. His like some of us will go together to go to Costco, right? To go eat cuz Costco's food is pretty cheap. He will buy like the hot dog and a chicken bake. He would take the hot dog, like the glizzy, out of the bread and he puts it inside of the chicken bake and eats it like that. That to me is insane. Like, wasn't there enough inside of the chicken bake already? Wasn't there enough? Oh yeah, I always get the pineapple quenchers. I will say, I think they've been doing more flavors though. I actually haven't been to Jollibee. I've been meaning to go to Jollibee recently because I want to go see the Final Fantasy stuff. Because my local Jollibee decorated for it. So I'm going to have to go and see. I have to go and see. But yeah, I always get the pineapple quencher. So delicious. I just wish it was refillable. Anyways, I should stop yapping. We are going to be watching Lockstin and Gnoggin today. This was actually recommended by a viewer. We're going to be watching Explaining the Most American Pokemon. See, the thumbnail had like Tauros or like the bulls on it. So what is was it Tauros? No, it was one of the black and white like bull Pokemon. I can't remember its name. But we're going to be watching Exploring the Most American Pokemon by Lockstin and Gnoggin. Let's just make sure. There we go.
People got this idea in their head.
There we go. Bouffalant.
It is just a silly-looking bison-like regional.
I liked playing Bouffalant in the TCG because there was a silly, funny Kangaskhan deck, a Mega Kangaskhan deck, where if you had two Bouffalants in the back with the same ability, all of your normal type Pokemon take less damage. So I had a Mega Kangaskhan deck where it was just super tanky, and then I played like stuff like healing cards. Oh god, it was so fun.
Variant of Tauros back before regional variants were actual things. And honestly, no. No, it is so much more than that. And this is something I've recently learned too.
Oh.
I just got back home from my first ever cross-country road trip from Oregon.
That sounds fun. I've actually wanted to do a cross-country road trip one day.
To the Great Lakes area. Shout out
to across America.
PokeCon in Minneapolis. Check it out.
PokeCon?
On this trip, we went to many national parks and monuments, and it was at these my wife and I first saw our first bison in the wild.
You know what my dumbass would do? I would go up to the bison and try to touch it. Because I would think it's cute.
Lone male just destroying that poor bush, as they do.
He's just hungry.
Long after we came across the herd. We saw some in a little altercation. We saw this dude not shut up.
He just wants to yap. Make him a streamer, make him a content creator.
And there were babies. They're a bit hard to see, but they're also orange. Being orange helps them camouflage in the grass. Dead and alive. The grass, that is. Most animals see green grass like this. But anyway, believe me, we stopped at every single spot. And sometimes we didn't need to stop because they approached us. You really do feel like the puny ape you are being near them.
I, unfortunately, would just want to pet the thing and like lay down with it because I just love animals and I have no sense of danger.
But no matter how much you want to, do not pet the fluffy house.
Okay, fine, I won't. God.
They end the lives of several overconfident people every year. You'll make.
And I was just talking about that.
Your parents cry, and at your funeral they'll say, "Bye, son." Yes, it was. By the way, is it bison or buffalo? Technically, bison. This is a buffalo, and this...
Oh, they're two different entities? I always thought they were the same.
Is not that, but people have used the wrong words long and often enough that the meaning has changed, because that's what words do. I'm gonna stick with bison.
Words of
have you seen this thing's species name? Bison, bison, bison. It's like they're...
What the heck? Wait, that's so funny!
Hammering it in. Stop calling it a buffalo! It's not a buffalo!
Waiting. Waiting. Hold the line! What the fuck? God damn it. Okay, we're so back. We're so back. I need to find a different multi-streaming software. Every single multi-streaming software I have tried likes to crash my freaking OBS. I've like learned it's not my internet, it's just the multi-streaming software. Crying in the club. Are we back, gamers? We're so back. Denarius, feel free to cut that part out of the video. Goobly Giant, thanks for the follow. Streamer hates us. No! It's literally just my OBS. My multi-streaming software. Anyways.
Knowledge is cool, and I am filled with so many cowboy facts now because there is nothing else the Middle States
Atom? Oh yeah, I use Atom.
have. Except corn. One of
I
the museums
love
we stopped at
corn.
is actually built around a partially
It's one of the few foods that goes in the same way it comes out.
excavated mammoth graveyard, essentially. It was a sinkhole that swallowed just so many mammoths. It was quite amazing and emotional, honestly, to think that these beasts once roamed here, right next door to suburbia.
That's so
But the museum
sad.
part around and behind the bones is what we're talking about in this video, because it taught me about an extinct species of bison that, oh my god, it's just buffalant. Like, I used to think buffalant was just an American bison given big
I love Buffaland.
horns to be intimidating and cool, and an afro and big hoop earrings like a 1970s American disco dancer. And it could very well still pull from those. But this is the bison latifrons, the giant long-horned bison. I saw its long
That's
horns,
big
compared them to
horns.
buffalants in my head, and then mentally filed it
Oh my god, they're 6 feet long?
away
What
for
the
later.
heck?
This is my first real vacation, not a time for thinking about work. Like, I saw a wild marmot yesterday. I'm still riding that high. It's been a month.
It's so cute!
It was so cute and so orange. It was like Pawmot, the marmot Pokemon. No, dang it!
Wait, is Palmont actually a marmot?
on in the
I've never actually put those two together.
same museum, they had a diagram on the wall of various species of American bison lined up, and you can see the height of them compared to each other and yourself, since it's life-sized. Alright, my brain is buzzing now. The biggest ruminant to ever walk the earth had even poofier head fur than the living bison, and the same long horns that Buffalant has? Not to mention its
What
neck
the
is
heck?
especially thick and hunched. Like, it's too perfect. This extinct American bovine is absolutely Buffalant. And now that I'm back from my trip
Buffalant
and fairly
IRL?
well rested, I'm going to tell you all about it and how it's perfect for a Pokemon for Unova, the first American Pokemon region.
What? I've
In a
never played
mainline
that game. Oh, okay. Okay.
Because, hot take, I feel like the bison is a more fitting mascot for the United States than the bald eagle. But
I actually kind of agree with that take.
we'll get to that, because first, in a very American move,
Bison are very American.
yep, that was the fireworks show. Time to go home now and sleep on a super comfortable mattress from this video sponsor, Helix Sleep. You know you
Helix.
spend a third of your
I need
life
a
on
new
a mattress,
mattress.
meaning a great mattress is always a worthy investment. It impacts just so much of your overall quality of life. How well you rest, how sore your back is, how snore your back is. It is all impacted by how you choose to lay, but how do you choose which mattress is best for you, especially online? Everybody sleeps different, even partners. Well, my friends, Helix makes it easy. They've got an online sleep quiz that will match you and a partner to which of their 20 mattresses suits your sleep preferences
I would like a new mattress.
best. When my wife and I took it 7 or 8 years ago, we got the Helix Midnight Lux, and so did our beautiful editor and his wife. And we all live in a warm environment. The built-in cooling cover on this one helps you maintain cooler body temperatures while sleeping. It's lovely. And we can all comfortably say that these are the best mattresses we have ever used, which is why I love the support they've shown us over the years through sponsorships. And right now, they want me to tell you about their 4th of July sale that's going on through the whole month. 27% off site-wide. Yes,
27?
everything. Even the
That's a
mattress
very
toppers. If you
specific
just want to give
number.
your generic mattress a nice upgrade. All you have to do is use my link at the top of this video's description, helixsleep.com/Lockstin, to let them know that I am great and you love me and good sleep. Hence you checking them out. Bonus fact! Helix mattresses do not contain fiberglass, asbestos, or uranium. Only one of those things
Do other mattresses contain those?
was not once a common mattress ingredient. Ooh. I'm so glad we have science So, this extinct bison was freaking huge. Overall, around 15.5 by 7.5 feet and weighed up to 4,400 pounds.
Oh my god!
Heavier than most mid-sized cars and SUVs. And its horns from tip to tip are estimated to be as great as 84 inches. Modern bison are going to have to do something to compensate for theirs, being only 26 to 35.
Oh my god, that's like less than half.
Here's your NRA sticker. This makes Letafrons comparable to the Texas longhorn cow, whose horns are only slightly shorter at 80 inches. But their bodies still have no chance at only 900 to 1,500 pounds. Well, gosh, it's no wonder why their horns may look bigger than Letafrons. Not because they are, but because they are attached to a body that is a quarter of the size, all whacked out of proportion through breeding, I guess. Breeding is something Letafrons should have done more
I love breeding.
of, though, but alas, they all died out around 20,000 years ago, even though they roamed from southern Canada to northern Mexico and from California to Florida. The Ice Age starved their poor extra-large bodies, all the while they
Who was responsible for the Ice Age? I just want to have a conversation.
were being hunted for their fur, organs, bones, and food on those extra-large bodies. The horns, too. Extra large. The horns were often used to make tools, instruments, cups, and even adorned many headdresses. Normally, these headdresses would leave the horns as their own piece, or at most, they might tie a decorative string around the tips and connect them, but occasionally they did have rings of leather or beads put around their middles, decorating them similarly to Buffalin's little gold rings. But not really, just only kinda. Plus, the practice was rare enough that I don't think it was a factor for Game Freak. The rings are from elsewhere. Perhaps the iconic gold rings of Afro-equipped disco dancers decades ago.
So bonita.
Perhaps an homage to the many metal rings put into the noses of cattle. Both. Probably
claps?
both. Bison were and are.
I think the minions started the Ice Age.
Incredibly important to Native Americans, especially the many different peoples grouped together as.
Oh my god, can I just say, one of the best classes I've ever taken in college was the history of the Native Americans. I don't think there has been a class where I actually have, like, sobbed in the middle of lecture. If you guys are in, like, college or have, like, an opportunity to learn more about, like, the indigenous people of America, I really highly recommend you educate yourself. Because, oh my god, what a heartbreaking class. Oh, I loved it though. It was I loved the professor. He definitely made it feel the way. Yeah, no, it's so sad, and I feel like there's still so much justice that needs to be had for them. I think it's slowly been getting better. But we're not there yet.
Plains Indians, and for a long time, pre-contact, they did a good job utilizing bison without endangering their population after they accidentally extinctified bison antiquus, aka the ancient bison, by running their herds off cliffs over and over again.
Why would they do that?
Had learned their lesson and had gone for a few thousand years getting what they needed from the plains bison without running into population decline. Post-contact, though, is a whole other story. Manifest destiny and capitalism working as intended. Who gives a darn about future generations when I can maximize my profit now? You may have seen some of the famous photos. Piles upon piles upon piles of bison skulls.
That's so
hunted for
sad.
sport and trade goods in the 19th century. They were brought to the very edge of extinction in only a few decades. I can't even imagine being a young Native American back then, to be taught about these majestic creatures that have helped your ancestors for tens of thousands of years, and been taught over and over again about how they are sacred, and to be able to hunt them is a gift. A bison is a gift given to you.
True.
And it is your duty to help maintain the 60 million wild bison so that they can provide food and tools and clothing for your descendants too. But then, by the time you're a full-on adult, maybe with kids of your own, they're just gone.
No! It's so sad.
Completely.
What the heck?
Most of them were just left to rot. Most were killed not for their resources, but specifically just to subjugate Native Americans even more, as the Plains Indians
Man, this is making me actually really fucking sad.
Relied on them heavily for their traditional ways and trade. Truly disgusting.
It is very nasty. I want to say stuff, but I feel like it's gonna be interpreted wrong. But man, again, justice for the indigenous people.
Thankfully, a small population of only 500.
Hope Corps!
141, down from 60 million, managed to live through that. And today,
Let's fucking go!
there's almost 500,000 of them. Mostly in ranches,
We're
but
so
still,
back.
every American bison living today is the descendant of that tiny group of survivors. American history is so interesting because, like, in just 3 short centuries, Americans have accomplished so many great things, showing ingenuity and resilience and determination. Like, U.S. history starts with a group of dudes beating off the most powerful empire in the world at the time. Hello? But there's also the dark stuff.
It is very dark.
Some of the worst atrocities, all stemming from either greed or racism, usually both. Like, come on, history. Why can't we have an actually interesting villain for once, huh? Wait, maybe that's why true crime serial killers are popular. Just killing for fun, not greed or racial reasons, just fun. Like the dudes on trains shooting bison because it's funny to watch them tumble.
That is not funny at all.
So why are bison so American?
Let me at him.
To the point where Buffalo had to be in Unova, even though bison don't really live in New York, let alone the Manhattan area.
I mean, you never know, man.
Which, you know,
they found that, like, weird bird in, like, the middle of New York. I don't know if you guys seen that. There was like a bird that wasn't native to, like, the New York City area, and he was just chilling in the middle of the city. It was very cute. Thank you so much for the follow, Rail.
Is specifically. Well, it's because, I mean, there are various species of buffalo and bison all over the world, and the European bison almost looks just like the American bison, and yet people barely know it exists. There's just something so special and iconically American about American bison, you know? I mean, Wyoming has a flag, like all states do. I don't know why I phrased it like that, but their flag is a bison. Straight up. It's just a bison on a pole. Clearly, bison are culturally important. And several of the towns that we visited on our road trip had bison statues, sometimes dozens, all painted differently. Clearly,
I love that.
Bison are culturally important. My favorite one was painted like a skeleton. I'm sure
I love
the
that
American
one,
Bison
actually.
Association with Native Americans is a factor. I mean, you can't get more American than that, unless they were also obese and in deep poverty.
Oh.
The American bison, as a symbol of indigenous history, reflects the deep-rooted connection to the land that existed before European colonization. And of course, the destruction of the bison can be seen as a metaphor for the broader impact of Manifest Destiny, where good old westward expansion displaced entire Native American nations and transformed the landscape at great environmental and cultural costs. The mass death of the bison can even be compared to the mass death of Native Americans at the time of contact as well. Some call it the American Holocaust. While not deliberate at first, at contact, the diseases Europeans carried with them and had natural resistance to spread.
They didn't have the immune systems to take on European diseases. So it wiped out a lot of them.
To the native populations across the continents who didn't have any ancestral immune system to fight it off. So smallpox, the plague, influenza, and measles spread and killed millions in just a few decades. An unfortunate fate that was unfortunately bound to happen whenever contact was made, even if it were 100% peaceful. But that was just the beginning of the problems, because it was not 100% peaceful. Many who hated the natives learned that they were especially susceptible to these diseases that they also knew were contagious, and thus began purposefully spreading it with sinister intentions. A mere century after Christopher Columbus stepped foot here, 90% of indigenous Americans had died from European diseases. Then tack on the wars and the legal and encouraged massacres, and you've got several tribes and nations being totally wiped out. All in all, it's estimated that up to or even over 100 million indigenous Americans died.
That is a lot of people. I don't think most people understand how dangerous disease was back then, because they didn't have doctors, they didn't have like the resources we have now. A lot of the time they would just be like, drink some herbs and hope it passes, and they just didn't have the resources to recover, so it just killed literally all of them.
As a
Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them.
direct result
Tribes were getting wiped out.
of contact. Such mass death and population decline is not unlike what happened to the bison, and similar to the bison's slow but steady recovery, so too are many Native American
And we are so bad.
cultures. Now more than ever, we are
That's why I'm saying, I always like tell people, like, if you had an option to support like a native, I guess, like an indigenous business, like small business owned by them, I will always go and do it. For example, a lot of the casinos on the West Coast are owned by indigenous tribes. And I'm like, I'll have lunch there. I'll go support them.
able to truly educate about their past and their culture, and while still a fight, many rights and reparations have been given. In some ways, the bison's resilience and eventual recovery after nearly being wiped out totally mirrors the resistance and survival of marginalized peoples in the face of adversity. But of course,
Hell
the
yeah.
bison represents more than just itself and the people it lived closely with. It works as a metaphor for the very land itself too. It embodies the westward expansion. Not only was the country expanding westward, literally deeper into bison territory, but also bison themselves roamed huge
They migrate.
swaths of land, like pure freedom. The
There's just something beautiful about just a whole group of bison traveling together. I don't know why it makes me happy.
thing America is supposed to be all about. It wasn't until that land was stolen and divvied up to various owners who put fences up that their movement started really getting complicated. The efforts to save the American bison in the early 20th century, led by conservationists such as Theodore Roosevelt, symbolize the nation's growing awareness of the need for environmental conservation. It represents a shift in American identity towards valuing the preservation of nature and recognizing past mistakes. It's truly no wonder that the bison is designated as the national mammal of the US. It's a symbol
So
of
cute.
strength and survival, and it's a reminder of both the destruction we are capable of and the possibility of renewal. Being a large, powerful herd animal, the bison could also symbolize the idea of unity within diversity. The individual animals are all part of a collective whole. The US has always been known as a cultural melting pot, and yet despite the many different origins and colors of the skin of the people here, at the end of the day, we're all American, and it's important to collaborate and work together as an American community. All in
Facts.
all, the bison reflects the complexities of our past, the moments of harmony and connection with the land, the exploitation and destruction that came with industrialization and colonization, and the eventual movement toward conservation, unity, and renewal. And
TLDR. Buffalant is a cool Pokemon.
that's awesome.
That is beautiful.
Like, yes, America did real bad things in its history. Aside
That's facts. Don't be proud of that.
from the near genocide of those indigenous here, many point to continued slavery and segregation as the darkest aspects, and yet, we abolished it. I mean, sure, we had to fight a literal war over it, which proves just how terrible and desperate people are to continue being terrible, but we persevered and won, which was awesome and
Hell yeah.
difficult to do, and shows that we can recover. And recover we still
Hope Core.
are. It's an ongoing fight that shows resilience and perseverance. We're still dealing with the racial problems because, like, segregation was only legally abolished less than a lifetime ago. People in power today had parents who were the biggest racists you could possibly imagine. Parents try to raise kids with the same values as them. Do the math.
I think our generation is definitely trying to to abolish that, where it's like, I'll give you an example. I don't want to get like too political here, because that's not what this is about. I think we were here to talk about how awesome bison are and what they represent in American history, right? All the bad stuff and all the good stuff that has happened. But I'll give you an example. For example, my mom, I love her to death. However, if you asked me 10 years ago, because my mom comes from a very conservative, very like, if Filipinos, I think if the Filipino shipwrecks will understand. Like, my mom is very religious sometimes. By sometimes, I mean, she does practice religion, but it's like not super often. But like, for example, she didn't like the idea of teenagers dating, because in her culture, right, and her values, people don't date until after college. So when my siblings were getting like partners and stuff, my mom had a hard time kind of swallowing that a little bit. But, you know, I remember having this conversation with my mom, like, hey, listen, I know that your family values are very important to you, but I also need you to understand that times are changing. What was normal for you 40-ish, 50-ish years ago isn't normal for the people of our generation now. So you need to be open to like all these other like things kind of being different. And my mom's been open-minded. There's some stuff that, you know, obviously she has a little bit of a hard time letting go. But I feel like our generation is really trying to break away from that.
And please vote. And that brings us back to the topic of the video.
Please vote.
Buffalant. Specifically, its afro
Shout out
and
to
its big gold
Buffalant.
earrings. That combo is really like the symbol of the 1970s disco dancer, most often depicted as an African-American woman. And if you
Love
think
that.
about it, the late 70s had like the first generation of young black folk
Speaking of, I need to go watch the new Michael Jackson movie.
who never
I keep seeing videos of people in theaters where there's like Michael Jackson impersonators just like dancing in the theater, and I'm like, that looks like fun. I should go see the movie.
had to
Hopefully there's a Michael Jackson impersonator at the movie.
personally deal with legal segregation. If you were born just before the civil rights movement, you'd just have entered college in the late 70s visiting disco bars and disco clubs.
That sounds like
Society
fun.
was healing, as the bison population did.
Yes.
But, you know, maybe I'm stretching. Just trying
No, this, I say this is related.
to make connections where there aren't any. But, hey, Unova, Buffalant's home region,
Hell
it's
yeah.
also where Pokemon's first black characters live.
Shout out to them.
And while perhaps not the
Except for the Lenora's Watchhog. I love Lenora, but her Watchhog, I get nightmares still at night.
most racially sensitive, Buffalant is equally as Unovan as Scraggy and Scrafty, which pull from New York black gang culture, and even the regional horse is black now.
I love Blitzel. It's a zebra.
I'm sorry, that was dumb. All I'm really trying to say is that Buffalant is definitely
I too am jealous of Lenora's husband.
a black Pokemon. I mean, that's the name of the game it's in.
Get
I'm
it?
sorry, that was dumb. If the American bison itself truly symbolizes all of those things we talked about, then I'd say it makes perfect sense to apply elements associated with one of the major marginalized groups in this country. Of course, bison already having textured
Agreed.
big hair akin to the disco afro helps, but I think another factor may be at play with this design choice. Obviously, Native Americans have a much deeper cultural connection to bison, but I think it's also kind of an overdone trope thing?
Is
Can I
it?
say that? Is that rude of me to say? I just feel like every other building we walked into on our road trip that had a bison-related anything had it decorated Native American style. Like, it is done to death. For a mostly good and justifiable reason, mind you. I just think that maybe applying a different yet similarly persecuted culture's elements to a bison makes the Pokemon more unique. I mean, like, a
I can get down with that.
bison Pokemon with feathers, a Warbonnet, or a Dreamcatcher? Wow, original Game Freak. You only see those things on every other slot machine. Hang on, was that one literally designed to look like
What the heck?
a Native American man? My word. Oh hey, random thought to end the video with. The confusion of them being called bison or buffalo is also kind of like the confusion of what to call this group of people. Indians? Native Americans? Indigenous Americans? Are they tribes? Peoples? First Nations? There is no straight answer, it seems. It all depends on who you ask.
Yeah, I was about to say who you ask. I remember in my class, my professor tried to encourage us to use the term natives and indigenous. He was like, don't call them Indians. Call them natives or indigenous people. That's, I think, a more appropriate term. But that's what he said too.
I say, as long as the message gets across and nobody is upset, anything works. Just like with bison, buffalo. So other than Bouffalant and Braviary, who do you think is the most American Pokemon? Let me know down below, and never stop using
he might have just convinced me Bouffalant is the American Pokemon. You know, I actually really enjoyed that video. It kind of made me remember about all the things I learned in my Native American history class. And it was mostly really sad, but I think lots of hope for the future. Let me just read the comments. As a native, you have no idea how happy this video makes me. Seeing someone like Locke speak on the horrors so bluntly, but also the resilience is not only important, but necessary for some people to fully understand. Some people just won't listen to others who don't look like them, and to have a Pokemon channel do all things like that is just so heartwarming. You know what? Shout out to Lockstin and Gnoggin. How am I not subbed? Now I'm subbed. I like this guy. I love this channel. Do you know Bouffalant has a signature move? I did not. I've only ever used Bouffalant in the TCG because its ability is really silly and I love it and it makes my opponent very upset, which is a good thing. You know how I know I'm having a good time playing card games? If I make my opponent really mad. It gets head change. Head change? What is that? Hold up. Let me Google it. Head change. Bouffalant. Head charge? Oh, I read change. Head charge. Signature move of Bouffalant. Makes contact. Not affected by magic code. Okay. What does it do? Charges its head into the target. It damage. It's just a recoil move. Does get stabbed though. That's pretty cool. I always failed to mention how awesome Bulbapedia is. I looked up head charge the move and it's telling me what it does, right? But then it's showing me, oh, yeah, this is when they used it in the anime and in the manga and other stuff. And I'm like, oh my god, somebody actually had to look for this stuff. That's awesome. Oh, it's a less recoil too. Got it. Got it, yeah. 120 power, accuracy 100. It is affected by protect. Oofaroni. I like Bouffalant. Bouffalant is pretty cool. Anyways, we got our next video. Pokemon Wind and Wave starter evolutions. Up until this date, up until now, we haven't had any official information in regards to the starter evolutions for Winds and Waves. Listen, I have seen way too many AI generated videos of people being like, this is the trailer to Wind and Waves, and it's like the most stupid looking thing ever, and people are taking it for a fact. I'm like, guys, it's AI generated. Oh my goodness. But let's see what Lockstin and Gnoggin has to say about Pokemon Wind and Waves starter evolutions.
I love seeing the fandom express their ideas of how the new starter Pokemon should have.
And I think Pombon needs to be Fire and Fairy, hands down.
It's my favorite part of the new game cycle. So now I want to do it. But not just evolve them, no. Because I love when a group of Pokemon does theming.
Yay!
And for this trio, just to make it harder on us, I wanted to apply a few themes. First of all, how about the theme of times of day? We've got a yellowish angry bird, well, the early bird gets the worm, and a lot of people are grumpy first thing in the morning. Don't bother me until I've had my coffee. Oh, and coffee is a bean, isn't it?
It is a bean.
Is wide-eyed, full of energy, and already resembles a small sun.
Look how
so
cute.
Midday.
He's just a Pomeranian.
Dog and Gekwa. I mean, the cool tones and those relaxed bedroom eyes. Evening easily. On top of this, rather than there just being the usual type triangle to maintain, I want their personality types to work like a triangle too, at least when fully evolved. Those final evolutions will of course have their own themes within their own individual lines, but together I also want these starters to do what Gen 9's starters did. You see, this set of fully evolved starters do pull from local Iberian things.
They're like themed after dances, right? If I'm remembering correctly.
But mainly in the context of how they influenced American celebrations. The Rio Carnival, Day of the Dead, and Mardi Gras are all the way they are because of that influence. And more details in their own video. So this time, I want to do something similar, but in reverse. What are 3 other major areas?
Yeah, please keep Pombon on all 4s, okay? Please don't make, like, you know how Lydon was like quadrupedal. I cannot pronounce that word. But then he becomes like a furry in his last evolution, like on just 2 legs. Like, can we not do that, please and thank you?
The world with
thank you for the hydrate check.
High historical influence on Indonesia, making it what it is today, that I could see Pokemon referencing, of course. Well, India is particularly important. I mean, Indonesia even means islands of India, or India's islands. China obviously has a lot to do with the history of Southeast Asia as a whole, for better and worse. And lastly, North Central Europe, particularly the Dutch. Indonesia was a Dutch colony for centuries. And
I did not know that.
Conveniently, North Central Europe is where Pomeranians came from.
Yes, I know that because I've watched Bridgerton.
Has a lot of lizards, including the geckos that have the bindi like Gekwa. And China is a major reason one particular bird has dominated the globe, and even many of our own lives. So, there's a lot I want to accomplish here, but can we do it? And by we, I mean the amazing artist I commissioned to help me bring these ideas alive. Virgiloffice. This video would not be possible without her help, and especially not without our Patreon supporters who fill our art fund. So, thank you all. But now, you like cute and cozy games, right? You play Pokemon, so I assume so. And well, HoYoverse has a totally wholesome new one. This video is sponsored by Petite Planet, where you weave your dreams beneath the stars.
HoYoverse made another game?
It's a gentle, cozy life sim that's easy to get into and de-stress. Just take a breather at the end of the day. Explore the world while farming, fishing, building, decorating, and collecting to your heart's content. Really
I have too many games that do that right now, but this one looks cute.
Customize your space to make it your own. Look at your neighbors in this game. Peak adorable. Of course, Metalin the sheep is a plushie designer. And the dog is Saki. He collects battle beetles, which are extremely cute themselves. As you get to know them, you'll befriend them and unlock rewards for yourself and the planet. What sets it apart, aside from the art, is that you not only explore your planet, but the stars see above, featuring light puzzles and plenty of rewards to discover. Meet and hang out with other players, relax, have fun, share your in-game photos with each other, and so much more. Sign-ups for their latest beta are open now at the link below. And accepted players will receive an exclusive item at launch. So if you like charming characters, low-pressure games, and comforting worlds to explore and build in, definitely check out Petite Planet with that link. Grout. A grass-type
I love that damn
chick
thing.
Who appears...
I love seeing like the little memes of him like dressed up. It's so funny.
Grumpy and is clumsy. Let's evolve it into Hedgelin. So being a bean-shaped chick, Grout can really evolve into nearly any bird, but we decided to go with the jungle fowl primarily, which live throughout Southeast Asia, and you might have noticed they look quite a bit like chickens. And yes, that's because these are the wild birds that all modern chickens were domesticated from, and through classical China became a massively important global food source. Chickens are the most populous bird. And here is Hedgelin, a fledgling jungle fowl with hedge-like feathers. Sticking with the morning theme, it's got quite the bedhead, and from its big brows it...
He just woke up.
now sprouts a unibrow-like headband, not unlike raboots, but also like the headbands sometimes worn by silky chickens, a particularly fluffy breed destined for chicken shows. It's also kind of like a jogger's headband. Wake up early in the morning to do a jog before work? I could never. But the bundles of beans we see on the sides of their heads resembles the Chinese bun hairstyle, but a bit lower, a bit earmuff-like. Mornings are cold. It has tiny wings in there, but its adolescent torso feathers are functionally like a cloak, the kind that hides your arms, common in anime. These dudes even have the typical shonen protagonist personality. Tired of being a clumsy kid as a Brout, Hedgelin is now all about training. It wakes up super early in the morning every day to work out its legs and moves, always eager to learn and get the most they can out of the day. But all that eager energy is causing some static buildup in its feathers, but it has a clever way of using that. The particularly long sapling on its head is able to function like a whip, which not only cracks,
he's just gonna hit you with his head.
Apps. It's become quite the master of whipping it actually, and has begun to replace its clumsy nature with a more confident one. They also have learned to scratch shallow trails into the ground with their claws, a real chicken behavior, but Hedgelin will drop beans around these trails to help sprout more saplings around its territory, which it cares quite a bit about. And now, after many, many level ups and daily training, it's finally time to evolve. Not just its body, but its personality too. From a klutz to a trainee to an extremely cocky cock. It's a rooster, a jungle fowl rooster, Empresso.
I don't know why I thought he was going to say Empreg.
Pockun.
But this is pretty cool.
Doodle-doo, the first thing you hear in the morning, because this guy is an amped up morning person. Now grass electric type. Those beans were, of course, coffee beans. Fun fact, when I was trying to come up with names,
coffee
was the first I thought of.
Coffee?
And I realized I couldn't use that.
Yeah, I don't think we should name a Pokemon with the word cock in it.
For reasons. The name includes the electrical unit of an amp, which also works because it itself is very amped, like all the time, because it's full of coffee. And because of it being a super boastful show-off, I can easily imagine the anime having one constantly trying to do impressive things and finishing with presso! Like presto, or even, you impressed? Empress? Quite a lot of coffee is grown in Southeast Asia, and coffee is of course the early morning boost of energy from a tree drink drunk around the planet, almost as widespread as chickens. And roosters, male chickens that protect their flock, are where we get the phrase cocky from. When you tell someone to stop being so cocky, you are telling them to act less like a rooster. Roosters are so full of themselves and overconfident, just like Empresso now. Quick to action and optimistic to a fault. Quite the typical anime protagonist. Gotta always be the best, or at least the coolest in the room. Like a rogue, bard, or popular folk hero, they love talking themselves up, or even playfully put others down. The brows on Brout have now grown dramatically into lightning bolt shapes, which also work as a double reference. First, to the long feathers of the nearby King of Saxony bird
grass electric. It has like the little symbols on the top.
Nice. There are quite a few birds like these actually.
Those are so pretty!
To Lingzi, the long feather plumes that higher-ranking soldiers in ancient and medieval China would wear. Roosters are all about rank, and this practice even bled into Southeast Asia a bit. Chinese armor is also why Empresso's chest has this pattern on it. For millennia, their armor featured these grid lines, though through modernization they of course got the buttons, which on Empresso are coffee beans, full of energy. In fact,
how caffeinated would I be if I had to drink their beans?
Their Pokemon were to eat some of these beans.
I didn't know how else to word that.
There's a chance they won't sleep for days. Empresso's call is capable of being heard for miles. It's louder and more powerful than thunder, a fact that they love to show off. The only thing they show off more than their powerful voice, though, is their speed. Like a road runner crossed with the Energizer Bunny, these guys go. Now the fastest of the starter Pokemon, but a mostly balanced starter otherwise. Its signature move, Roast and Boast, has it quickly run around the battlefield and its opponent, really just showing off its moves by pecking and whipping them each time it happens to pass by them. Who Woohoo! Ha! Wacha! Woohoo! Wow! Woo! It's like you're not even trying! Ha ha! I am speed! That does some damage, but isn't the main goal. While it's doing this, it's scratching up the dirt and planting coffee beans into those scratches. The roots from those beans then quickly connect to each other, forming a web of electricity in the ground, creating electric terrain, which among other things, prevents sleep on the battlefield. A coffee plantation attack
Nobody is sleeping today.
through and through. Is there anything this bird can't do? Well, maybe. Maybe all it takes is an interaction with someone who doesn't need to boast about their power. Let's evolve Pombon. So, Pombon,
I love this goddamn dog.
a bonfire Pomeranian whose name also sounds like a cute, sweet treat. A bonbon. What shall we do to evolve it in a way that further evokes its doggy destiny to be fitting of the region of North Central Europe and to the midday sun? Well, this is Hearthhog.
Oh my God.
Now hang on, hang on.
No, why is it bipedal?
Wait, pitchforks down. You can keep the torches up though, Hearthhog loves them. I know how desperately the general fandom wants Pombon to stay on all fours.
Me.
And I understand that, which is why it is what we are doing, but this middle Evo is like Marshtomp, Crocolore, or Do-What. It's a temporary standing up thing to tease you into losing hope, so... Anyway, aren't they cute? Even the spooky teeth somehow add to the cute factor.
It
They
is
look like they
kinda
spend their
cute, yeah.
time frolicking in the
It
midday
looks more like a poodle to me now.
sun. Sun's out, bun's out. Only it's buns of fur. So while Pomeranians are the second most popular dog breed in Indonesia, poodles are actually number one. And poodles also come from Central
Poodles
Europe.
are different than Pomeranians, no?
So, fine, it's a poodle now, and with some Dutch braid-inspired fur shapes. Its name combines hearth, classic fireplaces inside of homes, with hond, the Dutch word for dog, which of course sounds like hound because of sharing the same root words. The name even has the same rhythm and cadence of Pombon, Hearthhond, Bow Wow, but double-fitting, Hearthhond also contains heart, which this Pokemon is all about. There's just so much love radiating inside that small body. Some say it's the source of their heat. Love is often described as a fiery passion, after all. And the love these dogs have for their trainer is so great that they get a bit aggressively protective of them. If they don't trust you, you risk this response if you get too close to their trainer.
Pomeranians can be scary. They're a little feisty.
And if you so much as insult their trainer, this will happen. It's the trope of the cute little girl character with an over-the-top angry side should you wrong them even minorly. You will be destroyed. Unless, of course, you do the one thing Hearthhond can't stand. Bring the rain. Oh no. Overcast. The sun is gone. And with the sun gone, the joy is gone too. And there is nothing worse for a Hearthhond than getting wet. Nobody likes wet dog smell.
I
The poor
don't.
thing.
I definitely don't.
Let's evolve it to get it out of its misery. This is Woofen. In Dutch, F's and V.
Oh, thank God! It's freaking Fire Fairy! Thank you! Thank you!
These are almost interchangeable. They almost
Wait, this one's actually kind of cool. I like this
sound
one.
the same, or at least more so than in English. So, Woofen is an oven full of woof.
Can I bake bread with woofing?
Oof, the deep barks of big dogs. A Tibetan Mastiff primarily, which really are just
That's
what if a
actually
Pomeranian
so
was a bear.
cute,
But no
hello?
longer being a poodle, one of the smartest dog breeds, might have something to do with why it's back on all fours. Most of the time.
Most of the
You know how
time?
Incineroar stands up most of the time when fighting, but then
I've actually never seen anybody, I'm sure there's a lot of art, but I've never seen a depiction of Incineroar on all fours.
it runs
Actually, maybe I don't really want to see that, but here we
on
are.
all fours sometimes.
I ask and I shall receive, and I do not like that.
Woofen is like the opposite. It's on all fours most of the time, but it is capable of standing up like an aggressive bear, though with more of a hunch to it. It's got like a
I love
big,
bears.
thick werewolf body. That's what I'm saying. Werewolves being quite European as well. And the Incineroar comparisons don't end there. Incineroar had its fiery wrestling belt, but Woofen has a bit of a dog collar, again
like a
in a
little
shape
bell.
inspired by Dutch braids, and it holds a big hot bell. Some say it's the love it felt for its trainer as a Pombon and Hearthhond given physical form. That's why their chests
wait,
were so
that's
hot
so
before, and now that that
cute.
love is externalized, its own body has so much room for so much more love. That's why now its entire body is heated. In fact, when Woofin gets excited, which happens very, very often, it's a very excitable dog, the bell and collar create an updraft that lifts the fur in front of its eyes up, giving you a good look at those preciously cute little peepers. And the rest of its mane will move about like a fiery sun. Oh, what a wonderful day it is. But it's not all cute. Just like Tibetan Mastiffs fighting off bears and leopards to protect the livestock, Woofin can be terrifying should you wrong it or its trainer, whom it loves and protects with its entire gosh dang being. Oh, and the drool. Dogs pant when they get hot, so imagine how much
drool on its tongue?
Much this guy pants, and the pink drool itself is able to sear the meat it's about to eat. But even with accidental contact, the drool never burns its trainer or anyone it trusts.
Okay.
It's like magic fire. That's why it's pink, though pink fire is a thing. It's very hot. Hot and pink like the passion of love. Did I mention it's fire fairy type now? Though admittedly I could also see mono fire, but it learns a bunch of fairy type moves too. But fairy is the pink type, and werewolves and stuffing children into ovens are fairy tale things. Oh yeah, the ovens. If this dog bear hugs and snuggles you, or its opponent for that matter, it can effectively bake you.
It's like beware. If you get hugged by beware, you die.
Let's hope you don't get on its wrong side. It is a big, physical doggo, good HP and physical stats, but the lowest special defense of any starter. In a lot of ways, special stats are the mental or focus-based stats, as evidenced by moves like amnesia, and this dog is clearly a no-thoughts, head-empty kind of guy. Just love and protection. Physical protection. Its signature move, up dog, no, okay. Not gonna call it that. It works for the name, but it's a little too silly. Its signature move, Thermal Rush, makes it heat up its full front and barrel into its opponent. It's basically like a weaker Flare Blitz that doesn't cause self-damage, but does activate Harsh Sunlight. The strong updrafts created by its fire and fairy love blew all of the nearby clouds away, as updrafts do. How exciting! The sun is now harsh, like it. Did I mention how energetic and excited it is all the time? Sometimes it calms down and has a siesta, but most of the time it's just full of boundless midday energy. You know how hard it is to calm a chronically overexcited dog down.
Oh, I've been there, done that every single day of my life.
Right? Very. But maybe you just need the right tools to help encourage calmness. Perhaps Gekwa's evolutions can help. So, for Gekwa's evolutions...
I swear if we go down the sexy lizard route, like Salazzle, I'm going to crash out.
We need to incorporate evening themes, Indian themes, and add to its own prominent features. The Pokemon site mentions that this Pokemon launches springy balls of water from its tail, and I can only imagine that functioning like a dewdrop forming on the tip of the tail that it then launches like a catapult. That's kind of freaky
to me.
Reminded me that India was pretty heavily involved with the history of siege weapons, like catapults. So let's somehow incorporate the history of siege warfare here as well, just to be difficult. Maybe we'll keep that aspect a bit subtle though. Gekwa's other unique feature are its huge eyelashes. We def need the middle Evo to have 2, and then the final have 3. So with that in mind, let's evolve it now. This is Saitoke. Unlike the other starters,
we are going down that route!
Their secondary types on the final evolution, here we see Saitoke getting it upon the first. It is now Water Psychic type. So the name fits well. Tokay is the specific type of gecko Gekwa is already referencing, along with eyelash geckos. Most Pokemon are more than just one specific species after all. Also, a Saiton is the center of a neuron, perfect for a brain-powered psychic type name. Saitoke is a dancer who uses their psychic powers to manipulate springy balls of water from its tail to float.
I really don't want it to go down this route. Please don't let it be like some sort of hot lizard. Can we just have a normal lizard,
all
please?
Around it as it moves. The dance moves are primarily inspired by 2 dance styles. Aspara dance, which is primarily done in Cambodia, right between India and Indonesia, and Bharatanatyam from India proper. Dances that are slower but involve many dramatic poses, and are said to have meditative and spiritual utility. But sometimes, when Saitoke gets a little too into the dance, they'll drop their tail. Oops. But it's okay.
I mean, that happens to lizards, no?
Not ready to let
Some of them can just, like, detach their tail.
Of it yet, and we'll reattach it ASAP. holding it close with constant psychic effort. Saitoke needs to keep up an illusion of perfection. The upper class of India is also very into high fashion, beauty, and makeup. It's a status symbol, and admittedly, very pretty indeed, and that's what Saitoke strives for. Thus the extra beautiful lashes in differing colors on Saitoke's eyes. And while Gekwa had a bindi-like water drop symbol on its forehead, now the top of its head resembles a small splash, like a single raindrop or a tear in a puddle. The social pressure does not make it easy being this pretty, but at least the loose tail helps it with attacking, where it sort of connects to the body, functions kind of like a small rail or wheel system, which along with the joints where the teardrop shapes meet on the tail, all come together to form a subtle trebuchet, the upgrade to the catapult, which India invented. Saitoke's psychic water balls can fly further and harder than ever before, but the stress they find themselves under does too. So, let's evolve it and finally bring it some
Oh god,
peace.
please don't be
Through
sexy.
meditation practice, Saitoke has found peace. Now as a Gecko Wave,
I mean, this is fine.
stress
It's pretty cool. I actually quite like the design.
has little meaning. Part gecko still with that tail, but now mainly a monitor lizard, or goe in Hindi. Its name combines gecko, goe, and wave, both in the water and psychic
I don't find this thing sexy. I just think this is opening a door that does not need to be opened.
wave sense.
It does kind of remind me of Mega Metachan. You're
As
right.
to it, they are one and the same. Their eyes are
I will say
mostly
the design
closed
very
in meditation
pretty,
for a
actually.
majority
I like the silhouette of the design. It's very unique.
of the time, but they can still open all of them as needed. All three. But in being mostly closed most of the time, this is where our evening themes come in more. Meditation is inherently a calm and relaxing experience, perfect for when the day is done and it's time to wind down. Their cool blue colors are just like the night sky even, but the white refers to purity. Emptying your mind is a major part of meditation, and temples dedicated to the purifying powers of water are all over Southern Asia, especially in and around Indonesia, which is also where monitor lizards are.
Yes!
And one of their most striking features are their large
bee
and
lizard.
powerful necks, often bigger than their heads in every way, and a bit wrinkly, like fabric? This made me think of traditional Indian headscarves or even hijab and chador, which are often worn in Indonesia.
Very pretty.
So the skin all over Gecko Wave is wavy itself, very loose, a part of why it flows through
very ethereal.
yoga poses so well. And it has these soft, wavy crests or sails all around its body too, both like the particularly big skin folds on monitor lizards, but also like the sail-fin dragon of the Philippines, and really plenty other lizards with sails, crests, and frills. They are somewhat akin to the thin accessory fabrics of traditional Indian dress. Now, very minor gore warning. Really, it's like looking at raw chicken, but it is alive, so here's your warning. But have you seen what freshly detached gecko tails look
I have not. That is kind of gross.
like? Here's some perfect examples of the wound it leaves when
Aww.
cleaned. It's oddly really pretty in a morbid way.
It looks like a flower.
But you know what it reminds me of? Pink lotuses.
It
Lotuses
does.
are the plants that float upon the purifying water at the water temples. Lotus pose is also like the stereotypical yoga meditation pose.
Ah.
So, Gecko Wave does a similar pose. Bonus fact, India mines a lot of quartz, and rose quartz is quite often carved into
Those are
this
so
lotus shape for the
pretty.
mystical crystal girlies. Great decor at yoga studios. They work excellently as small sphere holders too, which actually brings us back to siege warfare. So, under normal circumstances, the tail does seem attached, and it's always flowing to a rhythm of its own, like water, or like what a gecko does when it makes a defensive stance. But when violence is inevitable, which Gecko Wave is no fan of, Gecko Wave wants to end the fighting quickly and decisively with its high special stats. It stores its excess psycho
It's
water
gonna shoot
energy
from
in
its
its
tail.
and when the time comes, it does a dramatic pose and uses the tail like a siege cannon.
Oh my god, it's gonna throw its tail.
blasting an enormous ball of psychically charged moisture before quickly going back to its default meditation pose, making sure to leave the tail detached should it need to fire again. Siege cannons replaced trebuchets, and India knows all about cannons. In fact, the Jaivana cannon at the time was the largest on-wheels cannon on the planet. It used
it literally just turns into Mega Zygarde. You're so right, chat.
Pounds of gunpowder to launch a 110-pound cannonball over 22 miles, according to its original sources anyway, but science says, like, what? That's actually impossible. That distance is likely exaggerated. It is said, however, that the one time it was ever fired, its cannonball impact created a small lake. So it already is associated with water too. Gegowave's signature move then is just that. Deep Cannon. It fires a psychically charged cannonball from the depths of its powerful tail cannon, powered by the depths of its mind and the depths of the ocean alike. Oh hey, and it's kind of like shouting cannonball before jumping into a pool to make a big splash.
Fair.
Didn't even think of that until now. Like the move Flying Press, this is a dual type move, both psychic and water type.
That's interesting.
There is little difference to a Gego Wave after all. It's all waves. And I like the idea of them liking the move Magic Room, where they set up a weird room that prevents the effects
like
of held items. It's like,
oh, okay.
Gego, let go of your possessions, for they are holding you back
from of that focus sash.
Enlightenment. But of course, Gego Wave isn't perfect, and can get distracted in its meditation.
No citrus berries for you, motherfucker.
So I think it's time to talk about that other aspect of the type triangle I wanted to do, starting here. Perfect meditation requires soft, relaxing sounds, stillness, quietness, peace. The exact opposite of what a cocky morning person soldier rooster wants to do. Did you know sudden loud sounds or even just general stress can make a gecko lose their tail? Now you do. Yeah, there's not much Gego Wave.
I've actually never seen a lizard lose its tail. I know they can do that, but I've actually never seen, like, footage of it.
Can do here, since its water is weak to both of Ampresso's types. And its egotistical attitude is so the opposite of Gego Wave's that there's no getting through to it. But meanwhile, Ampresso's attitude does land it in trouble sometimes. Perhaps it overlooked a threat, or worse, maybe it mocked the friends or trainer of a Woofin, who is very
GG, brother.
of its friends and takes no crap. It's like when a bard or rogue fails a speech check on the big beefy guard. Except it always fails in this case because Woofin is not the smartest tool in the shed. It can't even pick up on the confidence of others. Really, it has no idea what Ampresso is saying beyond, oh, it's making fun of my friends, and that's no good. But then, at the same time, Woofin, remember, is a very, very excitable dog, often overexcited. Like, egad, dog, I just walked to the mailbox and back, calm down. No, I love you, I thought you died, and now you're back, this is the happiest day of my life. Is that water? Yeah, they still hate getting wet, and the extremely calm demeanor of Gego Wave,
they balance each other out.
The threat of the wet is what it takes to get a Woofin to chill, and having a weaker mind helps too. So, as a trio, I think Virgil Office and I achieved our goals. A trio of Pokemon with roots in Indonesia, but that also referenced 3 other areas that had extreme influence on its history. A trio of Pokemon who have a traditional type triangle, but also a personality type triangle.
True.
A trio with unique personalities that would work well in not just the game, but in the anime as well. And that look unique for starter Pokemon, while still
Imagine this is how they exactly look like when it gets released.
Alongside the other starter Pokemon. I am very happy with how these turned out, but we would love to hear what you think about them in the comments below. Please consider becoming a YouTube member or Patreon supporter if you can and want to see more videos like this one. And of course, never stop using your noggin.
That was fun. I like that. I think I'm very partial to Woofin because I like the good dog, trope, doggo protecto trope. I think those are so nice, so silly. But they're all pretty good. You did such a good job. Yeah, shout out to the artist who did that. Very, very curious. I hope he linked them in here. They did. Oh, they're on Blue Sky. They're on Blue Sky. I have a Blue Sky, but I don't even use it. I'm gonna be honest. Why does the timer say 4 hours? Because there's 4 hours. Ah, that's really cool. I'll put a pin in the artist. Maybe if I ever need anything Pokemon related, that would be super duper cool. Alrighty, next video. We're back with the Pokemon type explained videos. I did miss these videos. These videos are super fun to watch. So we're gonna be watching every dragon type Pokemon explained. This should be interesting.
Gotta get through this intro fast because, oh boy, do dragon-type Pokemon have a lot of lore and reasonings for their dragon type.
I love dragon
typing, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Why are each of the dragon-type Pokemon dragon-type, and which ones really should not be? Let's get going.
We're going down that route?
But first, I'm sponsoring myself. If you like this series, then please check out our new series that's just like this one. We're going over every single Pokemon move now too, explaining things like why they are the type they are, how they work, what the Pokemon does, all that stuff. It's an awesome
some
sequel series to this one. And be sure to subscribe because we'll also soon be covering every shiny Pokemon's reasonings, how every ability works, type matchups, the science and mythology of how each type of creature would work, and more. And as always, there's a load of theory crafting and lore dives too, as well as just general education videos using Pokemon as ways of explaining general education stuff.
And I love that.
And also, with this series nearing its completion, I really just want to thank our Patreon supporters, because without you guys, this series would not be nearly as cool as it actually is. Also, massive thanks to Smoof, like the greatest editor we have on the show, making Gnoggin awesome. Also, do you like t-shirts? Because here are some super limited edition Dragon Month and Fairy Month Noggin t-shirts. Check out this edgy Noggin design, completely surrounded by Pokemon Dragon things and Pokemon Fairy things. They're pretty cool, and the only way you can guarantee that you'll get one is by pre-ordering. Because, kind of like Kickstarter, we're going to take the pre-order numbers and order that many shirts to be made. And then they're gone. Gone forever. And of course, merch like this helps support this channel tremendously. Now then, dragons. The dragon type has so much lore and reasoning behind what it is and what it stands for that we actually split that into its own video, the beginning of another awesome series. What makes a dragon type? For now though, dragons. They're dragon type because they're dragons, but that's not the only reason. Dragons have a lot of dark and elemental magics surrounding them, and you don't have to be a dragon to use draconic magic. Though in the case of Pokemon design inspirations and origins, most of them are just dragons. So after breaking all of the dragon-type Pokemon into categories, that will be the first category we cover. Classical dragons. It's just a dragon. And what better dragon to start with than the original dragon Pokemon? Dragonite. And its pre-evolution.
I do love Dragonite.
Fast theory! Dragonite and Gyarados were switched during development because look at the whiskers and the colors and the shape.
Wait, really? What?
Yeah! Dratini and Dragonair are based on serpentine sea dragons of Chinese and Japanese myth. Long blue boys who live in the water but are fully draconic. Just like these two. Dratini may also be partially inspired by the legend of the Loch Ness Monster, as it's isolationist, lives in water, and is very hard to find. If you took Nessie and just decapitated it, you get a Dratini and a headless...
It's just the head.
Lapras. Notably, Korean dragons, such as the Amugi, are said to live 1,000 years, and then a jewel will fall from the sky, and if they catch it, they will then become a true dragon. This legend may be referenced here, as Dratini has no jewel. Then Dragonair gets one, and then it becomes a real dragon. A sudden, drastic change. Dragonair may also pull from the Greek god Hermes, and his snaked, winged staff.
Hermes mentioned!
See the similarities? There's also a dragon with a jewel on its neck in the famous Japanese folktale, The Tale of the Bamboo Cutter, which may also be referenced. Loads of stuff going on here. Dragonite then seems to pull more from Western dragons, especially of the goof variety. That's what I'm gonna call it, goof dragons. I mean, just put Dragonite next to Puff the Magic Dragon, and there you go. See the similarities? Some call dragons in this style fairy dragons, and that's funny to me. I'm just gonna call them goofs. Dragonite is said to be the guardian of the sea, and this is referenced by its Japanese name coming from ocean dragon. And
Does that mean I'm responsible?
There are some goofy-looking sea dragons done in classical Japanese art, which may have
They're
also
very
played a
pretty,
role in
though.
inspiration. Moving on now. Gumi, Sliggoo, and Gudra.
I love the Gudra line. They're just so cute. They're just little sticky guys.
Confused some people. Why a slimy dragon? That's gross.
He's just a slug. Leave him
Though
alone.
not unheard of, it immediately reminds me of the scaleless dragon boss in Dark Souls 3, my least favorite boss of all of them. So it's not really an unheard of thing. Plus, slimes are a common fantasy enemy, especially in JRPGs, the lowest of the low often. So a slime eventually becoming a dragon, the highest of the high, well that's pretty dang awesome. Also, there are sea slugs that look similar. There's even the blue dragon, which is a pelagic aeoloid nudibranch, which is a fun name. Nudibranch? Gumi specifically may pull from the Wawaxia, a prehistoric soft-bodied mollusk with scales, making it somewhat draconic. Then, looking to Sliggoo, it may be inspired by a mythical beast known as Lucarcal. I'm gonna be mispronouncing like all of these names, by the way. This beast is said to be a serpent and a mollusk at the same time.
That's kind of scary, I'm not gonna lie. Oh my god.
A long, enormous body carrying a shell, which is also similar to a yokai known as the Shusabora, a dragon that lives in a shell. Upon becoming Gudra, it looks much like the goofy western dragons like Dragonite again, but it's still slimy. The whole line then may also be inspired from medieval manuscripts, as it was common to depict knights fighting snails instead of dragons. No one knows for sure why this was so common, but one theory is that it's humor. In some manuscripts you have knights fighting away dragons, the highest and mightiest of the beasts, and in other nights, they're fighting snails. Ha! Silly knight. That's just a snail. Ha. Plus, snails are super lowly compared to a dragon, so it's just funny. It's funny. Humor was a different beast back then. Another obvious dragon is Salamence and its line. Salamence is very clearly your standard fire-breathing dragon, though it also borrows elements from the mythical salamander, which is just a regular salamander, but it has fire powers! Salamence does have a salamander body. It even has the three face things on each side, which could be seen as external gills, which many amphibians, like salamanders,
Axolotl?
have. Salamence is
Wait, axolotls are type of salamanders, if I'm remembering correctly, right?
very aggressive and becomes uncontrollable if enraged, and Mega Evolution only exemplifies this trait. It's similar to many myths about dragons burning down villages mercilessly if it just happens to be cranky that day. Its previous evolutions are sort of unique though, but they would fit the next category better, but let's just cover them now. Bagon is a little dinosaur creature that wants to become a dragon, and it
just
tries
wants to be a big boy.
so hard that it eventually becomes a sort of pupa inside of a shell, Shelgon, before finally growing into a dragon. It's like a weird bee, though its body structure is similar to a baby Pachycephalosaurus. So it's like a cute baby dino dragon that becomes a shell pupa. Weird. Like Salamence,
getting ready to become
Hydreigon
big.
and its line of Dino and Zvylus are also
everybody in the
merciless,
KR
aggressive
Kaiser.
dragons, but this time multi-headed, referencing a
I love this goddamn line, but I will always mention how stupid the level evolutions are.
specific type of dragon, the Hydra, and as it grows, it gets more heads. One such Hydra is Orochi of Japanese legend, another, the Larinian Hydra of the Greeks, and another, the Slavic Zmegorn. All three of these Hydras, evil antagonists in their stories, deceptive and aggressive. Common traits of the Hydra, I suppose, hence this Pokemon having the dark typing on top of its dragon. Noivern is a wyvern, another specific type of dragon or draconic creature. The most notable difference being that wyvern wings are attached to their front limbs, similar to how bats work, which is also where Noivern gets its large
it's just a bat guy.
speaker ears from, its bat inspirations, as bats use their massive ears for echolocation. Notably, some design inspiration may also have been taken from the mythical gargoyle, as they are also batty, draconic demon things. And then there's Drampa.
Oh my god, it's old man dragon.
The lamest of the dragons, clearly.
What? Don't say that. What the fuck?
That's why it's normal dragon type.
I love Drampa.
It's boring. It makes me think of the dragon from the Never-Ending Story.
He protects. He's just a old man.
So yeah, super boring. How did anyone get through this movie? I can't waste time insulting movies. Dragons can be fluffy, after all. In some parts of the world, they were even fluffy before they were scaly even. Drampa may be based on Zhulong, a serpentine Chinese dragon with the face of an old man, because that's completely normal. normal type. This dragon is so powerful, it's said to bring day and night by opening and closing its eyes. Wow, that's a lot of power. It even brings the winds by breathing. My god. And it's what inspired this thing! We'll all forget this Pokemon's existence in a gen or two. Dredgegon, or Drodidigon, or however you want to pronounce it, is still ugly. And it's what would happen if you took a red-headed rock Agama and made it a classical Western dragon. Though it too has some gargoyle and troll elements, as it's said to become immobile when cold, similar to these legendary creatures under certain circumstances. Plus, it's ugly, just like them too. And it likes to live in caves, which is also similar to Western dragons, such as those in Wales, which has a dragon on its flag because dragons are super important to them. Plus, the double D and ending with Igon in its name are both traits of the Welsh language. Clearly, there's an inspiration there.
You learn something new every day.
Rayquaza, or Rayquaza.
Go Team Sky! I feel like it'd be so disrespectful if we didn't talk about this Pokemon and say, Go Team Sky!
From dragon mythos across the world. It's long and sails the sky like many Chinese dragons, yet perfectly matches the description of the Aztec god Quetzalcoatl, who was a flying serpent who created the boundary that separates the sky from the earth and sea. And it lives in the skies always, never descending, sustaining itself on dew and air particles, just like Rayquaza is said to do. But that's not all. Rayquaza also fills a role similar to Ziz.
I like how we're using both pronunciations.
Of Hebrew legend, the king of the birds and all that is air, along with the behemoth king of the land and the leviathan king of the sea. The three of them inspiring the Gen 3 box legendaries. Though Rayquaza still pulls from more, as there is also the Lindworm of Norse myth, an extremely long serpentine dragon with 2 front limbs and no back ones.
Jesus Christ.
And all along its body are runes and symbols of power. Again, similar to Rayquaza. In fact, these symbols blast off of its body when it mega evolves because the power contained there is too much. Necrozma is psychic type itself, and gains steel or ghost after it absorbs Solgaleo or Lunala. But when becoming its ultimate form, Ultra Necrozma, it trades those for dragon type, and it's clear to see why. It's a dragon. Specifically, a 4-winged wyvern, as its hands are attached to its upper wings. Considering Necrozma appears in the Alola region, which is based on Hawaii, can point us towards Kiwawahine, a Hawaiian
What is that? What is that?
Dragon goddess, who is sometimes depicted as covered in radiant, bright gold. Notably also, the Mo'o are Hawaiian dragons capable of shapeshifting, perhaps referencing the many forms Necrozma takes. Dragons, in many legends,
I forget how many freaking forms Necrozma has.
are extremely powerful beings of magical power. Turning that into an ultra-powerful draconic creature of light is an easy path to follow, and its potentially world-ending nature
Never let anyone tell you Pokemon designs are lazy or uninspired. Fact.
works as well, as draconic beings are often used in Armageddon myths. And lastly in this category, Reshiram, Zekrom, and Kyurem, the 3 parts of the original dragon. These Pokemon have a ton of lore and reasonings for their dragon typing.
Once again, Gen 5 cooking as always.
We covered this detail extensively in this video right here. Check it out. In super summary for now though, there are several dragon myths surrounding yin-yang, and even in the symbology of the 3 essentials in alchemy, which these 3 perfectly fit into. And actually, lastly, I forgot about Mega Charizard X. People make fun of Charizard for not being dragon type all the time.
But the Mega ones are dragons, no?
Despite it, well, literally being a dragon. Like, it's a dragon design. Come on, very clearly your generic Western dragon with a bit of goof dragon in there. But there are reasons for its lack of a dragon typing that we go over in this video. But when Mega Evolution was added, they gave one of Charizard's Mega forms the dragon typing. It's stated that the overwhelming power that fills its entire body causes it to turn black and create intense blue flames. Clearly, magical dragon flames. That's one of the ways Pokemon differentiates dragon fire from regular fire after all. The color, plus with the horns and the way the wings are, it just looks a lot more draconic and aggressive, quite deserving of the typing. And with that, we move on to the next category of dragon type mons. We've now seen all the obvious designs, so what's one step down? How about dinosaurs with dragon powers? Because
Yes!
really,
Dinosaurs.
dragons are just dinosaurs with powers, aren't they? Tyrunt and Tyrantrum explain what I mean perfectly. Both are dragon type, but they're just T-Rexes, or Carnosaurs. Though, they are T-Rexes that can learn Dragon Claw and Dragon Tail. And they are said to have been invincible in the ancient world, and they ruled as king, which points to dragon myth again. Many tales about dragons have them rule the land as tyrant aggressive kings. There's also Axew, Fracture, and Haxorus, all based on various prehistoric animals. The whole line is like a Dicynodont mixed with a Plachiarice. This word. Then you just dabble on a pickaxe and then eventually a battle axe. Sprinkle on a couple of dragon.
I never thought of it like that. I never realized that it was like a pickaxe and axe like shaped heads. That's pretty cool.
Traits like the big claws and aggressive looking scale shapes. Yeah. So I'll admit the reasoning is a bit weak. It's a really mean looking dinosaur, so dragon type? At least they do learn a ton of dragon moves.
They do.
So they make full use of the typing. So they are mean magical dinosaurs, which is basically a dragon. Jangmo-o, Hakamo'o, and Komo-o follow suit. Not so much a dragon as
I
much—
always thought the Jangmo line, Hakamo'o, I don't know. It's all so hard to freaking pronounce. But I always thought their designs were super interesting.
as they are magical dinosaurs. They are like if you took a theropod dinosaur and added Ankylosaurus traits. They perform haka dances, war dances from various Polynesian cultures, and pull their name origins from Mo'o, which is Hawaiian for lizard or dragon, and also the name of those mythical Hawaiian dragons who could shapeshift. Though
Hell yeah.
these Pokemon don't do that. Komodo may also pull some inspiration from the Komodo dragon, and it's called a dragon, and Komodo, Komo'o, come on. So they too are just magical dinosaurs. Basically dragons. And lastly in this category we have the Gen 4 box legendaries. Dialga,
Yes!
Palkia, and Giratina.
The gods.
I mean, look at them. Until you look really closely, you don't exactly realize just how weird they really are. They are the creators and or guardians of space, time, and the distortion world of
The
antimatter.
creation. I mean,
Clearly
I guess maybe that's Arceus.
positions that would require a large amount of seemingly magical power, which is where
I love the
Dragon
devil.
comes in. Dialga pulls elements from a shorter-necked Camarasaurus, and Palkia is perhaps an Oviraptor, though both add in alien-esque biology too, as well as a few dragon traits. Fun fact, in the game data, Palkia's wings are actually referred to as whiskers. Odd.
What the heck?
Giratina is the most draconic of the bunch, a dark, ghostly
Literally just Satan incarnate.
dragon with some long-necked dinosaur traits. It also resembles some prehistoric centipedes, especially if you look at it like this. And its altered form pulls from the Amphipter of European myth. And some say that its two forms resemble the beasts of Revelation. But as I said, being as powerful as they are, being granted the dragon type fits, as dragons are mightily magically powerful and tend to come from high places. Now then, next category we're gonna call sort of dragons. They aren't really
Sorta?
classical easy dragons, or basically dragons because they're dinosaurs with magic powers. They still have dragony traits, so they're still dragon type. Take Flygon and its previous evolution Vibrava for instance. Vibrava especially just looks like a bug. It's a green antlion, which sort of looks like a dragonfly. Is that why it's dragon type? For the pun!
Cause it's a dragonfly.
Ha! I wouldn't put it past Game Freak to do such a thing. But at least when it evolves into Flygon, it's a lot more dragony looking. If you took a western goof dragon and added some dragonfly elements, you get Flygon. Some species of dragonflies are known as sand dragons, which may have led to Flygon's total typing overall too. Latios and Latias are next, and just looking at them, I guess
Why is
they're
one
dragons?
bigger than the
Weird
other?
feather jets. They are super intelligent and super fast.
They're literally just planes.
Flyers, both common traits of dragons in various mythos. They can also turn invisible, hide amongst people by turning into them, sort of, and their category of the Eon Pokemon
That is a little freaky, I'm not gonna lie.
may point them towards another
I don't know if I like that.
possible inspiration, the Aeons of Gnosticism. immaterial beings of concepts that are always created in pairs, a male and a female, emanated both from God and each other. It's complicated metaphysics spirit science stuff. But being based on such a spiritual being along with the other traits commonly shared with dragons gives them their dragon typing. Next is the Ultra Beast Guzzlord. If you took a
He is just a hungry guy. J-Vander, thank you so much for the follow.
trash compactor, a Dodicarus, a Power Rangers villain, and a Western dragon, you get
Okay, listen, man. He's just a hungry guy, all right? He doesn't mean any harm. He just needs to survive.
Guzzlord, the gluttonous Ultra Beast, always consuming and never defecating. The ravenous, black hole-esque nature of this beast is also very reminiscent of various dragons and greedy antagonists. It even has those crab claws, and in a way, they are reminiscent of extra Hydra heads. I mean, Guzzlord already has two faces like some sort of Gurren Lagann mecha. Really, this is just some demonic, draconic anime antagonist with dark, dragony powers. And the other dragon-type Ultra Beast is Naganadel, a super glue wasp with some dragon traits. Though
I
it
love
doesn't even
that
learn
damn
many
Pokemon. I played a is it Naganadel? I've always called it Naganadel. But I remember during the Sun and Moon era, I played a Blacephalon deck with Naganadel, and it was super duper fun. I'm a little partial to Naganadel.
dragon moves. Just two, naturally. I'd almost consider this a Pokemon or an Ultra Beast that should not be dragon type. Almost. Because if you just look at the top half, I mean, that's a dragon. Like a sci-fi dragon, which I guess was the idea. It looks kind of like a space dragon, so it's dragon type, even though it is more so a super glue wasp. Also worth noting, Naganadel, Naga, which is a mythical snake creature. Mythical snakes are sort of like dragons too. Zygarde's three combined forms are based on the three children of Loki and Angrboda, Fenrir,
I did not know that.
Jormungandr, and Hel of Norse mythology. Jormungandr especially makes the dragon typing easy to see. It is a large serpent.
So this
with
is
great
all Loki's fault. This is her fault.
power, magical even. And draconic magic equals dragon type after all. Another likely inspiration that they merged in is that of Nidhogg, a serpentine dragon that resides under the roots of the world tree, Yggdrasil, which also has stags and an eagle, which inspired the other Pokemon in this legendary trio. Zygarde is the guardian of the ecosystem, a high role of honor, and one that can utilize the high power granted by the dragon type thoroughly. The 50% and complete forms may also pull in inspiration from Nagas, especially in the form they take in Hinduism.
Like a little snake.
I mean, look,
I don't know what the last form is though. Last form's kind of silly. Soundgate, thank you so much for that 16 months. I appreciate it. Thank you.
a bunch of snakes behind the main head? What else would you call these? Vishnu is often depicted with such snakes, and Vishnu is known as the god of protection and the preserver of good.
The PNGs bob up and down. If I were to take a guess, it is the puppeting feature in After Effects. If you edit in After Effects, you can put some pins in a PNG and you can move those pins around and you can puppet it. I may or may not have a slight background in motion design.
Zygarde. In fact, this whole trio not only has inspiration from the creatures residing around Yggdrasil and Norse myth, but also from the three Hindu gods of the Trimurti.
Yeah, it's the puppeting feature in After Effects. If I were to say, it looks like it is to me.
A lot more on that in this video here. All in all though, Zygarde utilizes its dragon powers well, and its gimmick of being made from numerous cells makes it appear scaled, like dragons too. It's quite the awesome Pokemon. So it kinda sucks that next up is Dragalge and Kingdra. They are sea dragons. Sea dragons!
Me!
Ha! Sea dragons are a relative
I am responsible for this.
of the seahorse, if you couldn't tell. The dragon typing here is just as bad as Vibrava, really. It's a dragonfly! Ha! But fret not, because there actually is some good reasoning here. In Japanese mythology, seahorses and sea dragons are dragons. In fact, the Japanese word for seahorse directly translates to dragon's child or the child of a dragon. They are baby dragons, essentially. And according to myth, if they can live for a
And male seahorses can get pregnant Fun fact.
Full century, they will turn into a full dragon, such as the Ryujin, a dragon of the sea. So these Pokemon have the dragon type because they are based on sea dragons, which in Japanese myth are baby dragons. So they get baby dragon powers. Gible, Gabite, and Garchomp are basically land sharks or sand sharks or ground sharks.
I love this goddamn line of Pokemon. Garchomp is my favorite dragon type.
Boulettes, whatever you want to call them. They are from modern fantasy and are basically sharks that live on the land instead of in the water, hence the ground typing. But Garchomp doesn't really look like it's just a shark with legs, now does it? It also pulls from the Carcharodontosaurus, whose name means shark-toothed lizard. So, if you take that name literally and add in some Western dragon traits, well, you get Garchomp. Plus, it's super fast, edgy, and aggressive. Not the best of reasons for the dragon typing, but it's enough of one. Which brings us to the last category. The category of not. Well, not really. Not just yet. Let me make one more category first, and it's not. But, well, okay.
It is?
Fine, I guess. Pokemon.
What is this category?
That are dragon type, but only just have enough reasoning for it in my book. Just
They're barely
scraping by that full-on, no good reason at all, they should not be it category. First up is Alolan Exeggutor. It's a
Ooh, I've definitely heard people debate about this one before. I've definitely heard people go, I don't think Alolan Exeggutor should be a dragon. I think there is a reasoning, right? There's like a Hawaiian myth or something. I can't exactly remember.
Tree, a tall palm tree with coconut heads. Its Pokedex entry in Moon states, as it grew taller and taller, it outgrew its reliance on psychic powers, while within it awakened the power of the sleeping dragon. All right. No, not all right. What is the basis for it? Well, a number of things. It could be a reference to the Dracania genus of trees and shrubs. The name of that genus in Greek means female dragon, and some of the trees in this family look like Exeggutor, but that alone does not a good reason make. Well, dragon fruit are a thing that grow in the tropics, and it's Alolan Exeggutor. Alolan is based on Hawaii, it's in the tropics, though these don't look like dragon fruit at all. So, well, the one other thing is that it's referencing the Mo'o again, those Hawaiian shape-shifting dragons. The thing that they would most commonly shapeshift into were trees. So, a tree that is a dragon is a thing in Hawaiian myth. So I guess you get a pass.
Yeah, Alolan Exeggutor is a dragon.
Alolan Exeggutor.
TLDR.
Even though you don't shapeshift or have any dragony traits beyond the tail, I guess.
You just barely make it.
Next up, Mega Ampharos. Now, how does this thing dragon? Its Pokedex entry mentions that Mega Evolution stimulated its DNA to awaken some long-sleeping dragon's blood. Essentially, it's sheepish.
Oh. There's some just trapped dragon genetics in Mega Ampharos. Good to know.
Body descended from dragons. Well, I guess it's Welsh then. Welsh dragons were said to be extremely gentle and loving, just like a sheep. And sheep are also super important to the country of Wales. So, there's the connection.
Shout out to sheep.
Also, there are many eastern dragons who are woolly, and also some who are gentle and often associated with clouds, which sheep's wool can look like. Ampharos's slender body with a fluffy cloud-like mane could be playing a role here. Now, I do want to mention one note.
Lord Fraggle, thank you so much for the Prime sub. I appreciate it. Thank you.
There is Chao Feng of Chinese myth. While I was researching, I found a blog post about Chao Feng being the basis of Mega Ampharos's dragon typing, stating that Chao Feng is half sheep, half dragon, and it has a long, thin neck and a big, poofy tail. But upon trying to find legitimate sources for this, it turns out that's not true. Most depictions of Chao Feng have it as a flaming, phoenix-maned, lion-headed, stubby-necked lion dragon, and one with a short, but still fluffy, tail. In fact, Chao Feng is very important to Chinese myth, as every building in the Forbidden City.
Caught a couple years ago, but haven't been on Twitch much lately. Oh, did I do a meet and greet at IgiCon? That sounds very familiar. I've done a lot of meet and greets. I deeply apologize, but that's awesome.
Has one or more statues of it on their rooftops for protection. And well, none of them look like Ampharos even a tiny bit, so I don't think Chao Feng is the reason Mega Ampharos is dragon type. But I still wanted to mention this as another example of don't believe everything you read on a blog, and also so that you don't tell me I'm wrong because you looked it up and there's one blog post that says it even though it doesn't do any sources. Still though, Mega Ampharos. I guess. Its Japanese name is also a pun, as dragon and electrical current, when written in Japanese, are similar. So it gets a pass by just skirting the line just a tad.
The tiniest of tads. Oh man, you know what's next now, don't you?
It's the not
Oh
category.
boy.
The Pokemon that...
This category is gonna make some of us mad. Talking about the One Piece TCG, I love that card game.
really do not have the best or really any good reasons for being the types they are. And first up, Noibat. It's just a freaking
God.
bat. Sure, it evolves into Noivern, the wyvern, but at the moment, it's just a sound bat. It should be normal flying. Loads of Pokemon change type when they evolved, and this should be one too. In fact, while we're at it, just bring Vibrava in here also. Flygon is dragony,
Oh,
Vibrava is
man.
not. And neither is Turtonator. Oh, it's a
I forgot about Turtonator being a dragon type.
big reptile, sure. But at least dinosaurs are close to dragons already, and salamanders have dragon-esque mythology surrounding them. But this ugly thing is just a mata-mata turtle. In fact, it only even naturally learns one dragon-type move. Poison makes way more sense. The area around volcanoes, where it lives, spew forth all sorts of nasty gases.
I too am playing Blue Yellow Nami. Very fun deck.
In fact, its Pokedex entries even state that it gushes fire and poisonous gases from its nostrils. None of them say it's got dragon abilities, because it doesn't. It's a lava turtle landmine, one that should not be fire dragon, but either mono fire or fire poison instead. Next up, Mega Sceptile. Now, I mean, it gaining dragon type is cool and all.
It is pretty cool that it gains dragon type. I think it's one of the... Is it the only starter that gains one? From like Mega Evolution?
Just because it's reptilian also, it's a gecko Dilophosaurus mix, so it's just like the other dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are dragonish, so give them dragon powers and they are dragon type. What then is Mega
Charizard? Ah, true, okay.
Sceptile's natural dragon power? Oh,
talked about
just
that
the
earlier, I
move
should have
Dual
remembered.
Chop. What a terrible move to have be your only natural dragon type move. And again, even looking to TMs
Mega
and...
Feraligatr? Oh, that must be like a new one too, yeah, because the Mega Feraligatr is very new. Interesting.
breeding and such, the options are severely limited. Fighting makes way more sense than dragon. Way more fighting type moves can be learned. Plus, that would better fit its fast, cool, leaf blades on the forearm motif. Now, I mean, it is cool that as a Mega, it can now launch its tail like a missile launcher, like how many lizards can detach their tails for defense. But that does not make you a dragon. In fact, it makes you one whole tail's worth less of a dragon. And that brings us to the naughtiest of the bunch. Humor. Altaria. Pokemon tends to be pretty straightforward and well designed. Part of the idea is that you can easily tell the typing of the Pokemon just by looking at it. That's why nearly every fire-type Pokemon is red or orange. And sure, some Pokemon can be a bit harder to figure out at a glance than others,
True.
but never should they imply something completely different. Mixing up ground and rock? Yeah, that's alright. But this thing does not look like a dragon.
Just
at
let
all.
it be a dragon, man!
Not one bit.
Not the tiniest bit.
It's a cute, fluffy, fairy cloud bird, and it's dragon flying until it mega evolves, and then it becomes dragon fairy. Why? It's a cloud bird. Its design is
We like
based
the
on a
cloud
bluebird mixed with a cloud, perhaps with some inspiration from Peng, a legendary Chinese bird with cloud-like wings. But that's not a dragon, is it? Well, what if I told you that there is a reason for its dragon typing? Would you even
Okay,
believe me?
I'll hear
Because
you
there
out.
is. It's just not a good one. Its name, in Japanese anyway, is Tiltil. Evolved from Til, by the way. The name comes from a Belgian-French play named The Blue Bird, whose protagonists had the names Mytil and Tiltil, and they were tasked with finding the blue bird of happiness. Alright, but that still doesn't say dragon, does it? So we gotta keep going. Okay.
Okay.
Well, these characters, and by extension this Pokemon, are named after a star in the sky. A star named Til. Who would have thunk it? And
Til?
this star is one, just one, of many stars that are in the Draco constellation. Yeah, like I said, it's a reason.
Wow. That's it?
But is it a good reason? Does this thing scream dragon? Because its name in one language references a play about a blue bird, and the names of that also corresponds to a Chinese constellation.
Interesting.
Why don't you just let me know how good of an idea that is down below?
I don't know.
Because I can't even be mad at this point. I'm just astonished. See you next time
Me
on the
too.
series. It'll be fairy type. We get to look at this thing again. And I don't wanna. But hey,
Clef key hate in this household is not accepted.
until then, if you like this series, check out this new series we're doing covering every Pokemon move, explaining what they do, how they work, why they are the type they are, and sometimes why they shouldn't be that type. But only
Facts.
sometimes. Most moves make perfect sense. And until next time, please remember to never stop using your noggin by checking out the rest of our dragon videos because it's Dragon Month! And next month is Fairy Month.
God.
Be sure to tune in
There's
for
a
all these dragon and
Spyro
fairy
video.
special videos.
That is hilarious.
Yeah!
Yeah! Yeah, the Altaria one kind of threw me in a little bit of a type of loop there. What the heck, man? Is it just because it's a star in a constellation named Drago's named Till? And it's a play? I don't know. Very, very questionable. Question marks? Yeah. Oh boy, this has been a while. I've been long requested. Every water type Pokemon explained. I feel like we had to react to this one today because, I mean, have you seen what I look like? Have you seen how bonita I am with my beautiful, beautiful water hair? I mean, look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. So pretty. Also, do you like my fish? Anyway. We're going to be watching every water type Pokemon explained by Lockstin and Gnoggin.
Well, so far in this series, we've covered most of the types. There are just a few.
I know, I skipped. I do know I skipped some of them, but I didn't want to watch certain types. Okay, I'm sorry.
Left, but now we're going to tackle the biggest type there is. That's right, it's time for the water type. What makes each water type Pokemon the water type? And
They spit out water.
which, if any, probably shouldn't be? What are their origins and reasonings for being the type they are? Today, we'll answer just that. It makes sense why water is the most common type. Almost 70% of our world is covered in the stuff, and the same is likely true of the Pokemon world. And it makes sense that Pokemon that inhabit and even breathe the water would be water type, because
Hell
obviously.
yeah.
So we're going to break up these Pokemon into categories and begin, because there's just so many we need to really cut the introduction short. The first category.
Is water one of the Pokemon like that has the most or one of the types that have the most Pokemon?
Are Pokemon that are practically, literally
I feel like there's like a lot of water Pokemon.
water, as they would have the most obvious reasoning. But notably, there's only one. That's right, only one water-type Pokemon is literally water. Practically. Try to guess it. What is the wateriest of the water type?
Is cast form water?
Pause and guess in the comments. No cheating, and no worries. It took us by surprise as well, because it's Vaporeon.
All roads lead back to Vaporeon. All roads lead back. You know what? Just for this occasion, man. Just for this occasion. Just for this occasion. Castforms are normal type. See, listen, when I was thinking about it, I was like, wow, it turns into a wait, wrong color. There we go. Just for this occasion, we will. I feel like I have to use this model. It's been a hot minute since I used this model. Okay, hold up. Water type has the most Pokemon. Okay, I had a good feeling. I was like, Wait, which one? Oh, I only have 2 toggles on this. Sick. Okay, let's watch the rest of this video.
According to the Pokédex, its cell structure is similar to water molecules. It will melt away and become invisible in water.
Become
So, I mean,
water.
if your very cell structure is so similar to water that you can melt and be invisible in the water, that must mean you're pretty much water. In fact, this idea isn't very unheard of. In many mythos, water...
I'm not gonna even ask why you have this model. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the other color toggles that are on this model.
Nymphs and such would be able to almost melt away into the sea and such. And with the wateriest of the waters covered, let's jump to the next category.
Thank God,
Fish.
we move on
Typical
from Vaporeon.
fish. You know what a fish is. Clearly, water type. Mostly. Main things of note is that fish tend to have fins, live in water, and have gills. But they do come in all shapes and sizes. You know, let's just call this category the fish and other fish-like things category. And
Hell
what
yeah.
better fish to start with than Magikarp, aka
The fish.
Mr. Fishy. Its title
love
is even
him.
the fish Pokemon. Specifically, Magikarp is based off of the, you guessed it, the Asian carp, who are known to leap out of
Who are very delicious.
the water 8 to 10 feet when frightened. Who knew a fish could get scared? Their leaping is much like how Magikarp's Dex entry states, its reckless leaps make it easy pickings for predators. On the bright side, many Pokemon enjoy longer lifespans thanks to Magikarp. I'm sure you've seen the
Shout
videos
out to
of boats with
Magikarp.
millions of fish flying out of the water. Yep, those are basically real Magikarps. Stupid fish. But Pokemon has more than just your typical fish. What about all those other gill breathers? Let's really dive into these Pokemon. So, in no particular order, the rest of the water-breathing aquatic animals. Horsey, Seadra, and Kingdra are based off of seahorses. Sea? It's in the name. Although categorized as the dragon Pokemon, and they know many dragon moves, they aren't actually dragons until Kingdra. Their origins are rooted in the Japanese myth of leafy sea dragons actually
Dragalge!
turning into dragons. Very common thing, actually, aquatic animals turning into dragons. I guess it's hard to study the ocean when you live on land. Next up is Skrelp, but not its evolution, Dragalge. Interesting that a seahorse loses its water typing. While realistically Dragalge would have water typing if it had a third type, it loses it due to its other typings being
And
more
the
dominant.
poison.
Skrelp is water because it is not a true dragon yet, as it's based more off of the
He
kelp-like
has to
appearance
grow
of the
up.
leafy dragon seahorse than an actual dragon.
He
Speaking
has
of
to finish school before he can graduate into becoming a Dragalge.
dragons, Gyarados is not one. Ha. You'd think, as Magikarp's mythological origin is a fish that needs to leap over a dragon's gate to turn into a dragon, would mean that it would be, but here I guess Gyarados gets the short end of the stick and just becomes a large water serpent monster. This is thought to be the reason why Gyarados is angry all the time. Remoraid and Octillery are based off of a revolver and a small tank or
Gun.
artillery cannon. Their
Gun. Tank.
early concept sprites are proof of this, and now you know why a fish turns into an octopus. Really, it's a gun evolving into a bigger gun. Fun fact, Octillery do actually have 8 arms. They're just in the back, kinda stuck together.
Oh, interesting. I did not know that.
But what's even cooler is that Remoraid is based off not only a gun, but a remora, the small fish that love to stick to large manta rays, like Remoraid and Mantine.
They just love to travel together. It's like that scene in Finding Nemo.
Also, like a gun, the archer fish can shoot water at its prey, much like Remoraid. Neat. But speaking of Mantine and Mantike, they are based off of manta rays mixed with a surfboard mixed with a fighter plane. Imagine these Remoraid as guns on its wings. See?
Hell yeah.
Little death machines ready to fly. But ultimately,
Hell
they are
yeah.
still based off of manta rays, or even flying rays due to its flying type. Feebas and Melodic are based off of the old
I
wives' tale
love this evolution line so much.
of the ugly duckling, which was created to help Grosso children not feel terrible about themselves. We see that Game Freak, instead of adding in just an ugly duckling, they went with the better route of mixing it up a bit. Much more creative. Feebas is assumed to be a bass, and it transforms into a beautiful serpentine sea dragon. Fun fact, Feebas's name
Beautiful.
phonetically is the same as Phoebus, which means shining one in Latin, possibly alluding to the beauty within. Ah, now if that isn't an after-school special waiting to happen. Now to the complete opposite, a nice fish turning into a gross fish. Here's Golding and Sea King, based off of a goldfish or a koi. Oh, and, you know, one of the Hindu god Vishnu's avatars, aka a goldfish with a horn. So basically them. Huntail is based off of the deep, dark, underwater hunting creatures, using its tail lights to lure prey. It's
They're
possibly
kind of
based
scary.
off of the
All
viper
right, they're a little scary.
fish or moray eel. Gorbis is another, and a monster. Did you know that when it spots prey, this Pokemon inserts its thin mouth into its prey's body and drains the prey of its fluids? Like a vacuum, or a mosquito on steroids. Well, not Buzzswole, but rather the proboscis things that lurk in the dark. The scary thing is that this Pokemon is based off of 4 types of fish that really exist. Thankfully, most of them pose no threat to...
The snipe eel is so interesting. How... it's just so thin.
humans as they live deep in the oceanic abyss. And the one that looks the most like Gorbis...
You know, I've never realized that Gorbis looks like it has a bra on, like a seashell bra.
minus the pink coloration, is the long-nosed Chimera. I mean, look at it. It's almost a spitting image of it. Notably, the last 2 Pokemon evolved from Clamperl. How they evolved from a clam is a mystery. So theoretically, this is the Pokemon. Really, it's just a sleeping egg thing. A fish egg. Also from the deep depths are Chinchou and Lantern, both based off of the idea of an anglerfish who use their lanterns to lure prey close to their mouths before they strike. Except these Pokemon are actually cute. Love Disc, to be honest, is a fish that's just in the shape of a heart. That's kinda it. It's based off of the discus fish, a fish that's kind of in the shape of a heart. Not a real heart, though.
Very cute.
Could you imagine? Ew. No, a normal, regular, fake heart. So here we can really get a feel as to why it's water type. It's just a regular fish. Maybe it
Just
should be
a
normal
fish.
water type. Alomomola you would think evolves from Love Disc, but you'd be wrong. I mean, they just look so similar
This is a crime. This is actually a crime.
to each other.
How does Alamomola or whatever not evolve from Love Disc?
But, you know,
We've had this conversation before, Chad. I disagree with how they're not in the same evolution line.
Pokemon doesn't need to make sense. But Alomomola is based off of the real-world Mola fish. Just
I
change
like
the
Mola
L
Mola
placement
fish.
and an A, and boom! Pokemon name. Finneon and Luminion are 2 fish aptly categorized as the Wingfish and the Neonfish Pokemon.
So
Note
pretty.
how it says Fish Pokemon. That's because it's a fish Pokemon based off of the butterfly fish, which is a fish which lives in the water, hence the water type. Remember Basculin?
Yes.
Because I sure don't. Being based
I know Basculegion.
of a masculine bass, it's designed by Ken Sugimori, who stated there are too few standard fish Pokemon. Basically, he needed filler Pokemon for Unova's waters. No wonder it's so forgettable. Carvana and
Aw.
Sharpedo are based off of piranha and sharks. There really isn't anything interesting to say about these guys worth
Very
sharing other than
straightforward.
Sharpedo is fast, yo! Quillfish is a pufferfish. Yeah, I also forgot this Pokemon existed. Barboach and Wishcash are both catfish loach Pokemon. Bottom feeders that lurk in the muddy depths of rivers, ponds,
They
lakes,
like
and
to
pretty
eat
much
dirt.
anywhere you can find water and dirt all mixed up together. Tentacool and Tentacruel, though, are squiddish jellyfish that are actually interesting. Well, Tentacruel's Pokedex entries are interesting, at least, stating that normally it has 80 poisonous tentacles.
Oh my
The longer
God.
one has been alive, the fewer tentacles it will have. Do you
Jeez.
see 80 tentacles on any of these? I sure don't.
I don't. I can count. That is not 80.
Maybe it's holding them behind its back. Frillish and Jellicent are
My favorite. I love the Jellicent line.
2 malformed jellyfish with sick mustachios and dresses with frillies. And that's about it. Bruxish is the Pokemon to have if you ever wanted to be bitten
Ugly.
in the mind. This thing is gross and garish, but it's based off of a filefish and a reef triggerfish, who have hilarious faces and are the official state
They're
fish
so
of Hawaii.
silly.
So it's perfect for Alola. Fun fact, the Hawaiian name for this fish is the Humuhumu Nuku Apua'a, which
Don't ask me to say that.
is amazing to spell. Wishy-washy are minnows, anchovies, sardines, mainly the latter. Individually, they really suck, but through the power of teamwork, they school
Through the
together
power
and can
of
do
friendship.
anything. Even old Gyarados runs in fear when they school up. It seems like water types really are good at making after-school specials. Disney should hire them. Relicanth is a living fossil Pokemon. It really is a relic. Can't you believe that? In actuality, it's based off of coleocanths, a very old fish that was thought to have died out, but was recently found to be alive still. And by recent, I mean 1938.
Oh.
Okay, so that was
wasn't that
all
long
of the
ago.
fish-like, water-breathing Pokemon. I know a lot of the next few categories could fit some of those Pokemon there too, but they fit better in this category, I feel. And the next category of Pokemon are shellfish, seashells, mollusks, crustaceans, you know, those things. Shellos and Gastrodon are sea slugs, and I don't really think I need to remind you what the sea
Just sticky little guys.
is made of. Pyukumuku is the cutest little grosso I've ever seen. Essentially a sea cucumber that loves to punch people with its anus.
Wait, it's so cute,
special
actually.
organ, according to the Pokedex, that in no way is related to the real-life sea cucumber's butthole ejection techniques.
That is disgusting.
Fione and Manaphy are based off of the sea angel, a small translucent mollusk that lives in the deep,
That is
dark
kind
parts
of
the ocean.
nasty.
Staryu and Starmie are both puns made flesh to suffer a cruel world, as they are starfish with an extraterrestrial nature. Marini and Toxapex are also based off of starfish, perhaps specifically the Crown of Thorns starfish. Now, starfish may seem slow, but these guys
I
are
never realized that they were kind of based off of starfish. I did not know that.
the lions of the tide pool, apex predators in their own right. I mean, they can regrow limbs, relentlessly chase down prey, and when you don't move at all, like barnacles and mussels and
No!
such, these things really do move at lightning speed comparatively, and they are
Oh,
mean.
God.
Corefish and crawdont are based off of crawfish, crawdads, crawdads, freshwater lobsters, mountain lobsters, mudbugs, or yabbies. You know, tiny versions of the lobster, essentially. They live pretty much everywhere from
I love crawfish. I've been wanting to have some crawfish recently.
small puddles to swamps, and they have like a million different slang names depending on where you're from. Clauncher and Clowitzer are very similar to corefish and crawdont. These shellfish are based off of the snapping shrimp, as well as the whole concept of crustaceans losing a limb, meaning one
And
limb
they
becomes
regrow it
way
back.
massive because it's older, while the new one regrows and it's tiny. It's kind of silly. Cloyster and Shelder are clams. In fact, so is clampearl, if you didn't guess. However, cloyster, despite the name, is not an oyster at all. It is a thorny oyster, which is named wrong because it's actually a clam. What the heck? Crabby and
What the
kingler
heck?
are crabs. Most
Crawfish are
likely
very delicious. I agree. I am very much a seafood boil girly. Oh my god, that sounds so good right now.
the king crab, as kingler has king in its name, and they are delicious. Ammonite and Amistar are lords of the ocean, gods of the stream. These prehistoric mollusks are based off of the prehistoric creatures of the deep, Emanatia to be exact, which were just basically swimming shells, much like
Yes.
the Nautilus of today. Kabuto and Kabutops, another prehistoric creature of
Hail helix.
the deep, liked to roam the ocean floor. They are based off of the trilobite and horseshoe crab. Did you know that horseshoe crabs have blue blood? Like, actually, humans don't ever, that's a terrible misconception. But because of this, horseshoe crab blood is one of the most expensive liquids in the world. The fun fact, Wimpod and Golisopod are two really neato Pokemon until you realize that their ability is a terrible thing and isn't useful and competitive unless you build your entire team around it, and then you just get swept because that's how Pokemon is. It just crushes your dreams of being
This sounds deeply personal.
any decent. However, these guys don't get crushed by the intense pressure of the ocean. Much like the isopods and silverfish they are based on, their bodies are covered in an insanely strong exoskeleton. Hard as diamond, according to the Pokedex, allowing them to withstand the pressure of the ocean. Binnacle and Babaracle are barnacles. Creatures so bad,
I hate the look of barnacles. Every time I see videos of people like scraping barnacles off their boats, I get like kind of squeamish. I don't
Making me
know.
swear.
There's just something about barnacles I really don't like.
their word in SpongeBob. Really though, these guys would be a tasty treat for many water-dwelling animals. As you know, they
okay.
don't really move. That is until Babaracle realized they can not only get up and walk out of the way when they join forces, but they can even fight back. Also, they look pretty darn close to the goose barnacle specifically, which is a great visual until you actually see one. Nobody wants to see that. But with that, we reach the next category. These are aquatic mammals, or semi-aquatic mammals, that breathe air a la oxygenation via the lungs. Whales, seals, and otters and such. First up are Wailmer and Wailord, literal whales of Pokemon.
I love
minus the weight.
Wailord.
I mean, come on, Wailord is only 800 pounds? Not even a ton?
Only? That's pretty light, no?
Fun fact though, Wailord is in fact
For a Wailord, I feel like that's pretty light.
the largest Pokemon there is, and hopefully the largest Pokemon there will ever be. At least non-legendary. As it's based on the blue whale, the largest thing to ever live on Earth as far as we know. No dinosaur ever surpassed its size. This thing is massive. Kyogre is also a whale of some sort.
Big boy.
Kind of an odd whale. It's like the Hebrew Leviathan mixed with an orca, which are actually more closely related to dolphins than to whales. Seal and dugong are based off of seals. I mean, Seal's name is literally one letter away from seal. And fun fact, dugong does not look like a real-life dugong at all. Other seal Pokemon that
They
actually turn
don't.
into walruses are Sfeel, Celio, and Walrein. Here we get a seal, but with an added pH. As in fat, because they are fatter. And spherical, too.
They're just chubby, alright?
And Celio gets Leo because it's a sea lion. Poplio, Brion, and Primarina again are seals and sea lions, but more like dog mermaids, which I guess seals and sea
They're
lions
puppos.
are.
The sea
and Primarina
puppos.
also has siren elements. Moving a bit more into the semi-part of
Yeah, I
semi-aquatic
was about to
mammals,
say,
we
there's
have
no way Wailord is only 800 pounds. My god, we were just talking about earlier how, like, bison can go up to, like, 4,000 pounds. Like, you're meaning to tell me a Bufalot could potentially be more heavy? My grammar's horrible. Like, heavier than a Wailord? I don't know. Yeah, whales are probably closer to 200,000 to 300. That's pretty heavy. I don't know about you guys, that's pretty heavy.
Oshawott, Duat, and Samaraat. This line are based on otters, hence the ot at the end of all
I
of their
love
names.
these
Also, they are
goddamn
known as the sea otter
Pokemon.
Pokemon. I'm starting to sense another pattern here. Sea, otter, two things that have to do with water. I guess Game Freak's pretty good at making water-type Pokemon. That's no secret. Keldeo is dumb, but I have to do it anyway. This Pokemon is based off of the
Thank you,
youngest
Fury,
member
for
of
the
the Three
follow.
Musketeers, the fourth one, and lamest by far. Even his name is
okay.
lame and hard to pronounce. Well, other than being based off of a musketeer, Keldeo could also be based off of the Kirin, a mythical Chinese unicorn that was said to be able to walk on water. Another myth that it could be based on is the infamous Kelpie, or water horse, a horse that would lure victims into riding it, then take them down into the water to drown
Oh my
them.
god.
Next is Meryl and Azumarill. Note though, not Azurill, as
Whaler's
Azurill
also
is normal
based on a
fairy instead of
blimp,
water
that's why it's so light. I did not know that.
fairy. Wanted to clear that
Fuck you.
up now in case someone thought it was water type. From their looks, you could only guess that they're water type because of their color. Blue, if you couldn't tell. But really, why are these things water type? Theoretically though, these Pokemon are based off of the swamp rabbit, which is actually a real thing, but it really is just a cottontail rabbit that happens to live in the swamps and can swim really well. There's also the water rat, or Ricali, which may be an inspiration. Both animals are found near riverbanks and swamps. At least it's not a fish, right? Also, these
True.
Pokemon have elements from beach balls and flotation devices. Buizel and Floatzel are based off of very buoyant weasels. I mean, it's got a life jacket for a collar, and they've got fins, and
Very
they can use their
cute.
two tails like a boat propeller. Now, while weasels can swim, they aren't exactly famous for it. So the water typing here certainly
they
is
just can do it.
more so because of its similarity to a water buoy and flotation devices. The barrel, I honestly
The best water Pokemon in existence, hands down.
forgot was water type. After all, its pre-evolution's only normal. While Bidoof is based off of a woodchuck, the barrel is based off of a beaver. You know, those damn mammals that live in rivers that love to dam it up with wood.
Them.
Slowpoke, Slowbro, and Slow
My beloveds. I love the Slowpoke line so much.
King are hippos. Surprisingly, a lot of people are surprised by that fact at first. Hippos love the water, and they can be pink in spots. Plus, a little known fact, hippos sweat sunscreen. Neat. And that's it for the aquatic and semi-aquatic mammals. How about waterfowl now? Semi-aquatic birds.
Like
Piplup,
Pelipper.
which is my favorite starter, Prinplup,
So
and Empoleon,
cute.
which is my favorite final form of a starter, are based off of
So
the
good.
semi-aquatic
Banger,
animal, the
honestly, starter. Empoleon, peak.
penguin. Not much to say here beyond that. They are penguins. Emperor penguins by the name. And Empoleon has elements from icebreaker ships. Ships that travel through Arctic waters, breaking the ice. Hence the name. Wingull and Pelipper are two of my least loved Pokemon.
Oh,
Gosh, that list of hated Pokemon sure is getting bigger.
damn,
Mainly I just hate
alright.
how there are so
All the
many of
Pelipper
them.
Wingull
If only
lovers
I
in
had
my chat
some
are
perfect
crying.
Pokemon to keep them at bay while I'm fishing in the bay. Ugh. Anyway, they are based on a pelican and a seagull, both seabirds, which live by the sea. Then we got loads of ducks. Psyduck, Golduck, Farfetch'd, even though it's not water type, get out of here. Ducklet, and Swanna. I know Swanna is actually a swan, but I mean, come on, they are basically the same thing at this point. Plus it evolves from a duck.
Bird.
Interestingly, I mentioned how Feebas and Melodic were basically ugly ducklings but not ducks, and Game Freak was cool for being creative with that. And then 2 generations later, we literally get an ugly duckling turning into a beautiful swan, just like the story. Gosh.
Beautiful.
Anyway, then Psyduck and Golduck. Why isn't Golduck the gold or yellow one? Well, because gold symbolizes so many things, including great power, especially of the psychic variety. Also, considering the lack of wings, Golduck may have inspiration from Kappas, water yokai. Let's see, what's next? How about aquatic bugs? Surskit are based off of water
Surskit,
skippers,
Master
a type of
Rain.
bug that is able to run on the water due to its very light and fast body. The water's
Wind
tension
pod?
resists the bug's weight, allowing it to not sink. Imagine like you running on very thick jello. That's these bugs for life. Dewpider and Araquanid are fun Pokemon. They are based on
They
the
are a
diving
little
bell
freaky.
spider and orb
I'm
weavers,
okay.
but the opposite.
I really don't like spiders. This is a hard image for me to look at.
These real spiders live in the water but breathe air,
Oh,
so they wrap their webs
God.
around bubbles to make little scuba suits. Dewpider and Araquanid, however, are the opposite. They breathe water, so likely used their webs to hold onto water and carry it up, making SpongeBob-style scuba suits. Next, let's do aquatic reptiles. Tortuga and Caracosta are sea turtles, and just so you know, sea turtles live in the sea, and the sea, just for reference, is made of mostly water. Hence
Hell
the water
yeah.
typing. Lapras is a mix of the Loch Ness Monster and a turtle-like creature like the Plesiosaurus. And it's known as the transport Pokemon as it loves to ferry people across bodies of water. Squirtle, Wartortle, and Blastoise are the OG water starters.
They
Turtles to
are.
the max! But interestingly enough, these Pokemon share significantly more traits with tortoises. In other words, non-water dwelling reptiles. However, in Game Freak's ever-loving attention to detail in making these games, they didn't really think people would notice the difference.
They were
And
at the
they
time.
also
They were just like,
incorrectly-
let's make cool Watermon, cool water turtle dude.
They categorize Blastoise as the shellfish Pokemon. I
Interesting.
just don't know anymore. I mean, it's not even that watery, other than the fact it has massive water cannons on its back and it's blue. Tortoises are related to turtles, at least. But Blastoise is similar to a huge tank, both like the war vehicle and also like the thing used to store water. So we'll let it water slide. The Totodile, Crocodile, and Feraligator line, being based off of all manner of crocodilia from alligator to croc, bite down hard! Fun fact. Crocodiles do not have sweat glands and release heat through their mouths. They often sleep with their mouths open because of this. Similar to reptiles, we have the next category, amphibians, which are a weird middle stage between a fish and a reptile. They tend to be born with gills, but grow lungs and lose the gills eventually. Take, for instance, Timpole, Palpitoad, and Seismitoad, a gilled tadpole that eventually
That Seismitoad gave me PTSD. Pokemon TCG players already know what I am talking about.
becomes a toad. This line of Pokemon are able to vibrate the bumps on their heads, similar to frog and toad cheeks, except they can do it hard enough to make waves in water or earthquake-like vibrations on land. And that's not even the final evolution. Poliwag, Poliwhirl, and Poliwrath are glass frogs, frogs that are partially see-through on the bottom, and thus you can see their organs. As
That is
such,
kinda
the tadpole
freaky.
stage of this frog has swirly intestines.
Well, those
While
are
the
pretty
adult frog's
cool.
guts aren't this way anymore, the Pokemon keep it. Politoad, an alternate evolution of Poliwhirl, looks a lot more like the glass frog than the others. I don't really know what Game Freak was thinking with these. Mudkip, Marshtomp, and Swampert are the poster children of swamps and marshes. I mean, it's in their
Yay!
names. Mud, marsh, and swamp. Apparently, they can swim through mud faster than water.
That's
I'm
crazy.
not quite sure how that works, but at least it means they can swim.
Don't worry
And I
about
guess
it.
it points to their multiple inspirational origins then. The mudfish, the lungfish, and the axolotl. Kind of all merged
Yes.
together. Which is similar to Wooper, another little axolotl, and its evolution, Quagsire, is based off of the giant salamander that is commonly found in marshes and quagmires. Froakie, Frogadier, and Greninja are frogs full on. No tadpole stage even. They are also ninjas. Water ninjas, with watery ninja powers. There are plenty of legends about ninjas being able to run across the water, and they hide in the water too using a bamboo straw to breathe. So water ninja is a fairly easy connection. Some ninjas wear scarves, and in this case it's a scarf made of bubbles, and then it becomes a scarf that is actually the frog's tongue. Because they're super long. Well, on top of Water Ninja being an easy connection to make, so is Frog Ninja, actually. You see, there's a famous story, the tale
Like
of the
Naruto.
Gallant Jiraiya, wherein a ninja transforms into a
Naruto.
large toad,
I haven't seen Naruto, but I know
a
Jiraiya.
frog relative. And
I
with
know the
that,
character
we've gone
names.
through so many Pokemon. There are only 2 more small categories to go. The first being Other,
Other?
and the last one, Not.
Oh, okay.
Shouldn't be. First for Other is Corsola. It's a sea rock, or coral,
It's just
essentially
coral.
living ocean rocks. Then, Lotad, Lombre, and Ludicolo, one of the very few, if not the only water grass Pokemon in the game. Really?
It's a pretty cool Pokemon. I pulled recently a Ludicolo illustration from Phantasmal. Pretty sick.
Though you would think that typing would go hand in hand like normal flying. Well, being based off of lily pads, Lotad and Party are semi-aquatic plants. Although, this one's a great dancer. I'm looking at you, Ludicolo. Keep doing what you do. Keep being a stereotypical Mexican dancer. Also, these Pokemon draw roots from the Japanese yokai, the Kappa, a water demon that is rather popular today in Japan. Known for its mischief around and in the water, they are thought to have been the cause of many drownings back in the day. And fun fact, they share the water-like dish on top of the head just like the Lotad line. Now, while not specifically made of water like I thought when I originally saw this Pokemon—
See, that's what I thought in the beginning too.
Castform is actually just a Pokemon that has the ability to imitate the weather, almost as a way of camouflaging itself. It uses the rainy moisture in the air to create its rainy form, swapping its normal typing for water. How it does this, I'm not so sure yet. It seems like it's more of a sponge than a cloud. As stated in the Pokedex, this is the form Castform takes when soaked with rain. When its body is compressed, water will seep out as if from a sponge. Volcanion is based off of a steam engine and a volcano with hot springs. This guy blows. Ha! Hot air, that is. Steam is the byproduct of heating water past its evaporation point, and evaporating a large amount of water rather quickly will produce steam. Hence, the water-fire typing. Wash Rotom is when Rotom, the electric ghost, decides to possess a washing machine, and washing machines use water to wash things. Wow! I'm not sure where it gets the water, though. All of the other Rotom forms make sense, as they are things powered by electricity, and that's all they need to work, and Rotom provides the electricity. But where does Wash Rotom get all of the piping for its water?
I don't know.
Tapu Fini is based off of the Hawaiian god Kanaloa, and she looks very much like a mermaid or siren when the shell is open, and a swordfish or marlin while closed. While the Hawaiian god she's based loosely off of isn't inherently the deity of water, he is commonly associated with it, as well as long-distance voyaging and healing. Both watery traits. In addition, he is similar to the Maori god Tangaroa, who is the god of the sea. Palkia is a little odd.
I won't say anything.
Here. It is the master of space. Not time. Because, you know, time sure doesn't flow like water down a river. The super common saying. No. Rather, space is vast, like the ocean. Also, pearls are in clams, and those are also in the ocean.
Fair enough.
And, the ocean is made out of water.
Yes.
Ta-da! Panpour and Simipour may be
sense.
mammals, but they aren't exactly based on any semi-aquatic mammal at all. They are just kind of the water-type monkey Pokemon that are monkeys. While monkeys can swim, they aren't famous for it, and these Pokemon don't have any design elements like flotation devices or a buoy to give them their water typing. It just seems like Game Freak decided to give the water type to a monkey. However, the Pokedex talks about how it used to live in trees but has started to live by rivers. It also uses its tufts of fur to store water. I suppose there are monkeys that are famous for living in hot springs and hunting by the river. This Pokemon may also be a visual pun on the word sea monkey, which is actually a type of plankton. This Pokemon is also part of—
Yeah, did any of you guys own, like, sea monkeys growing up? I was always, like, scared of them. I just thought they were, like, little bug guys. And whenever I'd go to someone else's house and they would be like, "Look, Sai, I have a pet sea monkey." I'm like, I don't want to see it.
the elemental monkeys, including the other grass and fire ones, whose whole group resembles the three wise monkeys. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. Panpour and Simipour are based on the see no evil bit of it. See
Look how happy
what I did
they
there?
are.
Ha! I did it twice. This is why their eyes are white. They are blind, so they can see no evil. Also note, the hair looks like a geyser. Neat. While this Pokemon just
Hell
barely
yeah.
scratches the surface by my lines of being a good reason for a water type, if it wasn't for the sea monkey bit, I'd put them into the bad category, along with the one and only kind of dumb reason for being water and not another type Pokemon. That's right, it's Suicune. Though you could put Panpour and—
I've always considered Suicune to be more of an ice type, but I feel like, I don't know. People might argue with me on that one.
Simipour and Palkia in this category if you wanted. Maybe even Wash Rotom, because, like, where is it getting the water? But then again, where are any of the water type Pokemon getting their water? You know, I'm just rambling now. But I'm just leaving this category for Suicune. In fact, many of you probably thought Suicune was ice. Huh. I bet you did. Everyone I talked to while making this video did. I'm sure some of you hardcore Suicune fans knew it, but really, why not ice? Or even water ice?
Literally.
No, it's just water. Yet
Makes
it
literally no sense.
learns so many ice moves. In fact, it learns more ice moves than it learns water moves naturally. In fact, the Pokédex only mentions how it purifies water, which could be a fairy-like move as well. It also states that it moves along the north wind, which is cold as heck. A very icy trait. Oh, but it's based off of a Quillen, a mythical beast said to have been able to walk on water. Wow.
Oh,
and I mean,
wow.
sure. If you change its antlers to a diamond and make it more of a dog leopard. Oh, but the leopard-like traits are from the Fujin, the Shinto god of the North Wind. Ah, yes, the North Wind again. The thing that's cold as heck and brings the icy times. While Suicune could be based off of these wind and rain deities, I feel like just being water isn't correct. At least not as nice as it could be. If it were to keep its water type, it would need to either gain ice or maybe even flying. There are already plenty of other flying type Pokemon that can't actually fly. Plus, its category is the Aurora Pokemon. You know, that thing that happens to the sky in the Arctic regions.
Yeah, in the northern regions where it's literally just ice.
The regions
Makes
that are covered in
no
ice.
sense.
But I guess, I think I know why it's just water. If it were water ice, it would have 2 types while the other 2 legendary beasts only get 1.
Why couldn't it just be mono ice?
That's not very fair. And if they made it ice, well, then the Gen 2 legendary trio would just be the land versions of the Gen 1 legendary trio. And the fans would never approve of that. That's unoriginal. And we all know Game Freak listens to its fans. Right? Well, Game Freak or not, Suicune really is the only Pokemon that I think shouldn't be water type, or at the very least not just water type. And man, that was a lot of Pokemon to get through.
That was a
I'm
lot.
afraid of the flying and normal type videos now, although
Oh,
these
God.
will be the same video. Birds are boring. That's what Game Freak is saying. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sure my attempts at making it shorter are going to fail. But, as always, never stop using your noggin, and please consider supporting this channel through Patreon, or maybe even some cool merch. Thanks a million.
Sick. Yippee. Okay. Yeah, there was some I was like, I don't know. And some that are like, yeah. I think it's funny that the only Pokemon that is considered like actual water's Vaporeon. Like I said, all roads lead back to me. I mean, Vaporeon. We have one more video to react to today. One more. We are on theme still. We are going to be watching every water type move in Pokemon explained. Because I want to know what Hydro Pump means. Yeah.
Splish splash. I'm taking a bath.
Real. Oh my god.
Water type Pokemon moves. Like, how does being wet hurt? Like, what? Just close your eyes, walk away, grab a towel. It's
Water can hurt.
not like you're drowning. Alright, well if you're a being
That is violent.
of fire, then I guess being moist can hurt, or at least be a hindrance. And water does just sort of completely wreck the ground and rocks and stuff. I mean, look at what rivers can do. That's nuts. But just like everything, if you throw it hard enough, it'll hurt someone. Even words. Oh. But I mean, we can use water jets to cut steel and things. Water can be pretty deadly. But for the most part, like, oh no, it's a wave. The pain. The water used in Pokemon attacks for sure has some level of elemental magic in it. I mean, how else would you explain the move Bubble? Well, like this. Because in this video, we're going to cover every single water-type Pokemon move, explaining what it does and how it does, and maybe even why it does. So let's dive right in. Frig! I used the dive pun again! Hi, Lockstin. Hi, similar disconnected voice. Could you use some extra cash? Well, you know, who couldn't? Sounds like you need to gain honey. Wait, no, I said that wrong. This video is sponsored by Honey Gain, an effortless way to gain a little bit of extra dollarinos. I can buy a pizza with this.
Yeah.
So what is it? It is a computer and mobile device service where you share your internet connection. That's it. That's it? Yep. You employ your internet connection to help data scientists, advertising, and e-commerce researchers, and web intelligence agencies. It helps everyone with ad fraud prevention, brand protection, pricing intelligence, travel fare aggregation, and SEO monitoring services, making the internet an overall better and safer place for you and everyone. and in exchange, we pay out a dime a gig. But is it safe? Of course! Our network is inaccessible by outsiders and is fully encrypted, and we don't collect any personal data. Heck, if you've ever booked a flight or hotel room from a best deal site, then you've already indirectly benefited from Honeygain. So yes, you could have been earning extra cash this whole time.
Well, now I feel dumb.
You should! Honeygain.
Okay,
Quick,
thanks.
easy, simple, passive bonus dollars in exchange for your help in making the internet a better place.
Well, I don't know if you couldn't tell, but I'm quite a fan of Honeygain now. They're sticking with me.
What the fuck?
Bubble! A spray of countless bubbles is jetted at the opposing Pokemon. This may lower their speed stat. How bubbles cause physical pain, I'm not sure. But if you think about it, bubbles popping are...
I mean...
They're explode.
Yeah, they explode. They can surprise you. I don't know.
Just really small and so preciously delicate. A bubble is a tiny amount of gas entrapped in a spherical volume, usually made of liquidish stuff. It just so happens that the most generic bubble we think of when we say the word bubble is a soapy water bubble. Though water doesn't need soap to bubble, pour yourself some pressurized tap water and you'll likely get a few bubbles for a couple microseconds. But the bubbles in this attack are coming from a creature, and saliva is much easier to make bubbles out of, especially the thicker stuff. All those
That is
enzymes
kind of
allow the liquid to
disgusting.
have a higher surface tension, more
That is
strength to
kind of
stay a bubble
nasty.
before popping. So the bubbles that Pokemon blow could very well be spit-based. But if the original Squirtle Pokemon card shows us anything, it's that soap has very likely been used to punish this Squirtle. This Squirtle has a potty mouth. Fun fact, soapy water is actually really good as an insecticide, so bubbles should honestly destroy bug-type Mon. But I get that would be hard to program.
I did
But
not
anyway,
know that.
if you listen to the sound the bubbles make in the anime, they do in fact sound like they are popping with force. They hurt, so maybe they are.
Poor Dragonite. That poor Dragonite. He's getting bubbles popped on him and he's like, help me, help me, help
are
me.
extremely pressurized, and the popping causes the water to fly out like moist miniature fragmentation grenades. Yeah, that's cool. Bubble Beam is a spray of bubbles that is forcefully ejected at the target, and it too may lower the speed stat. It's just bubble again, but a lot. Now it's a concentrated stream of them. I guess this one makes more sense hurting, because it's actually a jet stream of bubbles. Each one of those could have a serious punch to it. But why do these moves reduce speed? Well, have you ever been drenched in a load of magical bubbles? Well, then how would you
I mean, yes, in a bubble math, maybe.
know that they wouldn't? But also, it may leave a slick residue, as soapy and saliva-y bubbles tend to do, which makes it harder to get traction, which makes it harder for you to start running or start attacking, thus reduced speed. Withdraw has the user withdraw its body into its hard shell,
It
raising its defense
hides.
stat. There is no reason for this move to be water type, so I guess, hey, move
Maybe
number 3,
because-
and we
Because a lot of water types have shells? I don't know, maybe?
have our first not water type move. I could put that in the thumbnail now, thanks. But it's not that terrible, I suppose. I do get what Game Freak was thinking. Back in Gen 1, which Pokemon had shells? Oh yeah, they're all water type.
They're all
okay,
water,
sure.
yeah.
But looking ahead, more and more non-water types learn this move now than water types. What is
That's
inherently
crazy.
watery about going inside of your own shell? Sure, turtles and clams and such live in the water and have shells, but so many other creatures and things have shells too.
Like the
And they could
little
all learn withdraw. I guess they
Dwebble.
just didn't think ahead. It only took the very next gen for them to not be a water it's shuckle. It's forgivable. And like withdrawal, you might think clamp is sort of the same way, but no. Hear
I
me out.
forgot about clamp.
has
I'm
the
gonna be-
target
I'm gonna be
clamped and
honest.
squeezed by the user's very thick and sturdy shell for 4 to 5 turns. So I guess it turns out the only thing in the animal kingdom that can clamp is clams. And maybe barnacles. But they have to ask nicely. But crabs are completely unable to clamp things with their vice-like claws. But actually, the move's original Japanese name clears things up. It's quite literally clamp with shell, which is also why the move's animation shows a big shell. So yeah, it is for sure a clam move. And clams live in the water. And
they're
wet
very
stuff.
tasty.
So it's water type. Yeah. And besides, crabs get the next one. Crab Hammer hammers the target with a large pincer. Critical hits land more easily. And they should, as you're crushing them with a 10,000 horsepower claw. It's just a big ol' smash. It's ridiculous. We did a whole video about this and Kingler and Shelder and stuff. Check it out here. But as for why it's water type specifically, well duh, it's for crabs, the purely aquatic animal. Geez.
And they're very tasty.
Land
Can you tell I really like Crabs.
Crabs do not exist. There are no Pokemon based on land crabs. No siree.
No.
Don't remind me what they turn into. Hydro Pump. The first real move in this list that's water, like straight up water. The target is blasted by a huge volume of water launched under great pressure. If you've ever been a
That will
child
hurt.
like I have
That-
once,
that
then you
for
would
sure
know that
will hurt.
water is great at pushing things, even just your hose out front. But if you take that hose and put it under just a little more pressure by like putting your thumb over the end of it or something, wow! You did so little, but it made such a big change. So now imagine a fire hose doing it. Look at those fire hoses. And now imagine a tank. And if you pressurize water enough and make the water almost pinpoint, you can cut through just about anything, ranging from wood to thick steel. Water is crazy. Another iconic move, Surf, is where the user attacks everything around it by swamping its surroundings with a giant wave. This move is cool and makes for some amazing anime shenanigans. But
It
they never
is.
really show it being used outside of the water in the anime. I mean, where would they get enough water to swamp an entirely indoor battlefield?
We don't
let
worry
alone in
about
the
that.
Wild,
Don't
say,
worry about
a
that
desert.
part.
Do droughts not happen in the Pokemon world because a single wandering ice cube floats and waddles across the globe, meandering into deserts and using surf? Could you imagine a Pokemon just straight up
Man.
flooding an entire forest? The damages could be extreme, and that's why it's a damaging move in the first place. Floods are super dangerous. Heck, this move is basically a mini tsunami. And the cherry on top of it all is that it features a Pokemon surfing the wave of the flood. That's mega rad! In the 90s, at least. Now, I'm not sure if I can say this next Pokemon move because of YouTube's rules. If it gets demonetized,
Oh,
you'll know
no.
why. Water gun. Like Apple's gun emoji, the foe is blasted with a forceful shot of water. See, it's like a water pistol. It shoots water, and that water is pressurized just like Hydro Pump, but a lot less powerful. It's the crappy
It's just a very
5-pack
light,
at the
very
dollar
light.
store
It's like the Nerf gun. We are comparing like a hydro cannon type of thing. That's a move actually, but we're comparing that to a Nerf gun essentially.
Powerful. Ugh. With Waterfall, the user charges at the target and may make it flinch. And this move is used for a little more than just shooting some water. This one is used to climb up waterfalls. The Pokemon is so good at swimming that they can just ignore the huge amount of water falling and they're just able to straight up ascend. That's some speed. And if that speed is used to ram straight into you, I'm sure you're going to flinch. But the question remains, why is it water type? Based on its description, it's just ramming an opponent. It's just a really hard tackle. And the modern games sort of just explain it away, like you teleport the enemy to a waterfall scene, and then they get hit in the middle of it as the user swims up it and rams them. This is dumb. But I like how Gen 6 and before sort of show it, or at least how my imagination imagined it with the really old games. The user almost summons an upside-down waterfall under the target, and then they ram them. So at least then there's actually water there, explaining the water type. But my favorite depiction has to be Squirtle's Up special in Smash Bros. He summons water underneath himself and swims up it, while also hitting the enemy. It's real good. Sakurai should make the next Pokemon spin-off. Octazooka. The user attacks by
I forgot this move existed. Octazooka.
spraying ink in the target's face. This may also lower the target's accuracy because you've got ink in your eyes. Your life is quite sucky and dark now because of the
man.
ink in your eyes. This move was purposely made for octopus Pokemon, and sure enough, it was the signature move of Octillery until Grapploct came around, though there was also
Yeah.
a single event Sableye that knew it.
For
I
whatever
don't want to
fucking
know.
reason,
Squid and
hello?
octopus live in the water, hence water type. And I mean, the ink that they make is just water with a whole bunch of stuff in it that makes it black. So it's
All
just like
kinds
a
of
water gun,
icky.
except it's super sticky and icky and dark pain in the eyes. Hopefully it rains soon to help
Shake.
wash that out. The move Rain Dance has the user summon a heavy rain that falls for 5 turns, powering up water-type moves and lowering the power of fire-type moves. This is a big TM move, meaning that it can be taught to so many Pokemon. And whoa! Most of the water types do have the ability to control water.
Goated
Who would
move.
have guessed that they could summon it too? Though realistically, they have always sort of been able to summon it. Do you really think you can fit over 1,000 gallons of water in a Totodile? Insert magical creature hand waving. Fun Pokemon that can learn it are Zapdos, who I assume just shoots the thunderclouds that it's flying through, which makes
I was about to to be like, that makes no sense, but it kind of does.
Rain. Because rain dance isn't specifically a dance that makes it rain. You feel me? It's more or less a phrase that means to bring rain, as rain brings good crops. Cultures from all around the globe have their own type of rain dance, normally called a rain-making ritual, but in America, the most well-known are those of various Native American peoples. They have all kinds of rain dances where they, well, dance to ask for rain. Whereas in Japan and all over East Asia, it was more common to have shrines that you would pray to for rain. And this would explain the name of the move in Japanese, rain prayer. It's the thing that they do over there. And if you don't know why rain is water, maybe you should get some sleep. Come on, you should have gone to bed an hour ago. I'll still be
That's real.
here tomorrow. It's the internet. Whirlpool. Yeah, like the washing machine brand.
Yes.
The user traps the target
brand.
in a violent, swirling whirlpool for 4 to 5 turns.
They're just gonna get really dizzy and it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, just like the washing machine. It's a vortex of water that washes away the bad. Now, there are only 2 things you can dive into, liquids and gases, because diving into solids typically makes you die. True story. But the move dive is specifically the water sort of dive. They dive on the first turn, and on the next turn, they float up and attack. How they dive when not near any body of water is
Don't worry about it.
for another day. But come to think of it,
Don't
the
worry
underwater
about the
battles in Ruby and
logistics.
Sapphire also make no sense for this place to be using the dive move. Because, like, you're already under the water. And, like, how are you breathing? How are you commanding your Pokemon? Blurps and boobles? Gotta be careful when doing that. The bubbles you make explode. You might kill someone. Hydro Cannon hits the target with a watery blast. The user can't move on the next turn. Okay, so it's Hydro Pump, but different, and only the water starters can use it. The user needing a break afterwards makes sense. It takes so much energy to compress water, to the point where the gains are usually not worth the costs. Liquidation has the user slam into the target using a full force blast of water. This may also lower the target's defense stat. So, I'm not so sure about that name. Like, it's a pun, I get it. Water is liquid, haha, liquidation. But like, when a business liquidates, it turns all of its physical stock into cash. And usually they do this when they are closing, like for good. And in terms of living things, when you liquidate someone, it means to kill them, usually violently. Wow.
Well, what the fuck?
Great. Freaking Golisopod in the anime uses this move by making a katana out of water. Like, what even is Pokemon? The
Oh my god, I haven't seen that before.
name of the
Hello?
move translates to Aqua Break, which I think works a bit better. You're using water to break the defense of the opponent down, like how you can use pressurized water to chip away dirty sidewalks and rust. Which add to the defense? Fire hose protests. There you go. Try defending against that. Muddy water. It's surf, but there's dirt in it. Water pulse. No, okay, alright. Muddy water has the user attack by shooting muddy water at the opposing Pokemon. This may lower their accuracy. And it's basically always just been the same exact surf animation, like in almost every single gen. It's just
What's
brown
the difference?
instead of blue.
Other than it's brown.
Almost every game. It's like that original Mario thing where the bush is also the cloud, except it's water and water with dirt in it. So it's not as bad, I guess. If you get water in your eyes, it already sucks because you have water in your eyes. Your life is just a tad more miserable because you have water in your eyes. But oh boy, does it suck more if you get mud in that water in your eyes.
Yeah, that
then
sucks.
You have mud in your eyes. It's terrible and harder to see and thick because you have mud in your eyes. Muddy water, to be exact. Not watery mud, because that's redundant. The eyes. You know, it'd be cool if surf just sort of became muddy water based on where the battle is taking place. I want more stuff.
That would be interesting. If it was like in a swamp area, it's kind of green, like a... Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like that, that'd be neat. With Water Pulse, the user attacks the target with a pulsing blast of water. This may also confuse the target. It's just like a pulse of water. Ooh, so what? You say. Wrong. Concussive waves in water are extremely deadly. No joke. Unlike air, water isn't compressed as much during disruptive forces like explosions or even just waving your hands in the water. Thus, water is a wonderful way of transmitting force. I mean, that's why waves exist after all. And if you're underwater while there's a water pulse going on, man, your poor ears, they feel that hard. Definitely confusing you. Water sport is not to be confused with water spout. Water sport is where the user pees on you. I mean, the user soaks the battle.
Wrong water sport! Wrong
filled
one!
with water. This weakens fire-type moves for 5 turns. Why a likely water-type Pokemon would need this is unbeknownst to me, but okay, it's competitive. The move is called Water Game in Japanese, and I'm not entirely sure why it's called that. It could be a reference to children playing in sprinklers, I guess, like a sort of sport or game. And for sure, if you're spraying water around, it's going to make fire harder to happen. And then we have Water Spout, which sounds like it should be a little sprinkler or small faucet-like thing, but alas, no. It's where the user spouts water to damage opposing Pokemon. The lower the user's HP, the lower the move's power. It may be based on the effect that spouts have. A spout is basically a hole where liquid goes through from a container or storage. It's like the top of a water bottle or milk jug. The first time you open the spout, the water inside is somewhat pressurized by all the water inside, i.e. it's going to come out faster than when the containers are half empty. It's simple hydraulics. It's why you can spill something full and it comes out so fast and you waste so much of it. It's as if it wants to ruin your carpet, but then you get to the end, there's only a few little bits of water left in that bottle, and it's so hard to get those last few drops. Aqua Jet, because in Gen 4 they realized aqua means water, so almost all of the new water moves start with aqua, it seems. And Aqua Jet is just a jet of water. It's the same principle as the rest of the water streams. So instead of repeating myself, here's a fun fact. We were using low-pressure water jets for mining gold in California in 1852. Steam and hot water jets were used in the early 1900s for cleaning. High-pressure water jets were used for mining in the 1960s, and about 10 years ago, the industry began using water jets for cutting giant stones.
I'm telling you guys, water can be dangerous at different pressures. Oh my goodness.
With Aqua Ring, the user envelops itself in a veil made of water. It regains some HP every turn. Water is really good at washing away stuff, and the first thing to do with a wound is you wash it. Keeps it from getting infected and hurting more. Though when doing this, you would normally want to use clean water, not water that's come from the inside of an animal. Aqua Tail. The user attacks by swinging its tail as if it were a vicious wave in a raging storm. You know, like a water storm, not a desert storm or like a thunder. It's an all-water storm. They just summon a bunch of water around their tail while attacking with it. Or maybe their tail is just sweating profusely. Yeah, salty. It's just like the move Brine. A brine is the stuff you put a turkey into for a few days to soak in all the tasty flavors. Essentially, it's flavored super salty water. But in Pokemon, it's more of a finisher move. If the foe's HP is down to about half, this attack will hit with double the power. I mean, when you pickle something, you soak it in a brine as the last step. And also, rubbing salt into a wound hurts a ton. So salty water in a wound, turning you into a pickle? Yeah, that would hurt more if you were already damaged, for sure. The Pokemon winces not only from the pain, but from the sheer remembering of Pickle Rick.
Not Pickle
Razor
Rick!
Shell is another speciesist move that is only for those with shells, and sharp ones to boot. The user cuts its target with sharp shells. This may lower the target's defense stat. And well, are you using razor sharp things that are sharp? Yeah, there you go. Have you ever slipped and fell into a bunch of mussels or clams? It hurts.
No.
Razor clams are even a thing. They're usually all wet. The shell that it's hitting you with is probably wet, thus it's water type. With the move Scald, the user shoots boiling water at its target. This may also leave the target with a burn. Hot water is hot, and heat hurts. See the fire types move video as for why heat hurts. Be it hot fire, hot steel, or hot water. Don't matter. It's hot. Heat hurts. Soak is a water-type move, if you couldn't tell. It's the thing that you do to cereal to make it weaker so that it doesn't hurt the roof of your mouth as much. But as a Pokemon move...
I cannot tell you how many times I've hurt the roof of my mouth eating cereal. I like my cereal with milk, but I don't like when it's soggy, so I'll eat it right away, and sometimes it cuts like the top part of my mouth.
Has the user shoot a torrent of water at the target so much that it gets them sopping wet. So much so that it changes their type to water, which gets way into the lore of what being a type really means for a Pokemon. We don't have time for that today though, but it makes some sense. If you're that covered in water, then electricity and plants are going to love you so much more, so you're weaker to them. But you'd resist fire just
Makes
a bit
sense.
because it's hard to catch something on fire that's completely drenched in water. With Life Dew, the user scatters mysterious water around and restores the HP of itself and its ally Pokemon in battle. You know, that magical power that water has, the one that lets you not die because dehydration kills you. This is the opposite of that. Like drinking more water, it's good for your complexion and general health. Well, there is such a thing as too much. It washes away electrolytes, which you need. Balance is key.
Liquid Ivy.
Water pledge of allegiance to the slish of the united drips of some wawa, which makes the fire much stronger. Basically, this move is a column of water strikes at the target, and when combined with the move's fire equivalent, the power increases and a rainbow appears, because we all know that when you're united, you are stronger, especially if you unite with your mortal foe. Basic stuff. The light from the fire mixed with the splash aftermath of the water.
Is there actually a rainbow in the animation if you get it together with the fire? Because that'd be kind of funny.
Little rainbow. How beautiful.
Where is the rainbow? Hey. Oh, there it is!
Splash!
I do splash on duck, I do nothing. You just move.
This move does nothing. Like, little splashes of water are weak as heck. I can't even knock over this Duck Knight. Origin Pulse has Kyogre, the creator and guardian of the ocean.
My favorite southern Pokemon
with countless beams of light that glow a deep and brilliant blue. So technically there's no water here, but considering that this is the signature move of what is essentially the Pokemon god of the sea, it's water magic in its purest form. Infinity energy charged with the power of—
Wait, that's energy recycler from TCG. What the fuck?
Water. You know, that could explain how water types even blast the crazy volumes of water that they do. They all have a little bit of this inside of them. It's just that Kyogre, now being as crazy as it is able to launch that raw power on its own. Steam Eruption is the signature move of Volcanion. It's where it immerses the target in superheated steam, and it may leave the target with a burn. Really, it's just Scald again, but it's special because Volcanion got its own movie. Plus, I mean, steam is pretty different.
I've never seen the Volcanion movie. Is it good?
From boiling water anyway. Different properties, same end result. A wet burn. Heat hurts. Water Shuriken is basically the signature move of Greninja, but at the same time they decided to give it to a Selgor, because it's also a ninja. Anyway, Golisopod made a water katana, so it's fine that Greninja and its sidekick a Selgor can throw water shurikens. The user hits the target with throwing stars 2 to 5 times in a row. This move always goes first.
Oh, it's not a good movie? Oh, okay.
Can be shaped into just about anything, because it fills a volume. That's what liquids do. And throwing stars and ninjas tends to be super fast, hence the move going first. Now with Bouncy Bubble, your beloved partner Eevee attacks by shooting water bubbles at the target. It then absorbs water and restores its HP by half of the damage taken by the target. It's bubbles again, but this time they're bouncy and inexplainably heal Eevee magically. What?
Interesting.
Eevee just used the bubbles to clean its mouth while it was shooting them. There's also Splishy Splash. Your pretty partner
I love
Pikachu
Splishy
charges
Splash.
a huge
It's such
wave
a
with
fun
electricity
move.
and hits the opposing Pokemon with the wave. It may also leave the opposing Pokemon with paralysis. I hate these tiny baby moves for tiny babies. At least our next move is the opposite. The move that is sweeping the competitive scene. Vicious Rend.
What? Maybe I'm too new to the VGC scene. I have no idea if this was like a diabolical move or not, but I guess we'll find out.
Signature move of Vish, meaning both Arctovish and Dracovish.
I do remember these Mons being competitive.
I see what they did.
I do remember
Instead
this.
of a vicious rend, it's a vicious rend because it's a fish. The user rends the target with its hard gills. If the user attacks before the target, the power of this move is doubled. Like, whoa, mega cool. And it's water type because, well, you see, fish have gills, and that means they breathe water. And water is basically fish type, but some mammals are allowed, so they all get grouped together, and they decided to be inclusive, so they named it water type instead of fish type. It's like how flying type was originally called bird type, but then they realized that's stupid. Bugs and dragons fly too. But anyway, fish have gills. If they were to ram you with their gills, it would hurt them more probably, but it's super strong gills on this guy. And those gills are probably filled to the brim with water. This water type. Snipe Shot is the signature move of Inteleon, who ignores the effects of opposing Pokemon's moves and abilities that draw in moves, allowing this move to always hit the chosen target. So really, again, it's just water gun, but a sniper rifle water gun. So it is a bit better. Being as skilled of a sniper spy as Inteleon is, means that it will always hit its target, no matter what. Can't distract this guy's focus. Sparkling Aria is the signature move of
Yes!
Primarina,
This
who
move's a
bursts
lot of
into
fun!
song, emitting many bubbles. Any Pokemon suffering from a burn will be healed by the touch of these bubbles. What's up with Pokemon and bubbles, I swear. But to explain,
They just like bubbles,
again,
alright?
Bubbles are Sobi basics, which are good for healing because it can clean wounds and stuff. But also, this move hurts enemies because magical bubble, but like especially magical bubbles this time, they're so sparkly and glowing. It may be closer to that infinity energy Kyogre has, but not quite as pure. But speaking of the signature move of Primarina, the mad lyrical spitter, Oceanic Operetta is Primarina's signature
I love
Z
this
move.
one!
User Primarina summons a massive amount of water using its Z power and attacks the target with full force. Oh, that's a big bubble. But actually,
That
it's
is a
filled with
really
water.
big
I guess this
bubble.
is just Primarina using her siren powers to control water and have it fall heavily upon creatures, inducing ouch. It's like a big surf wave, but from above. It knocks you over. You slam your face into the ground.
This
and now you're
poor
drenched.
Wingull!
Honestly, this should just be Continental Crush, but significantly
What did he
weaker,
do?
because, like, it's literally the same thing, but it's water instead of rocks? I feel like the rocks would hurt a lot more, but okay. Hydro Vortex is the generic water type Z move. The user creates a huge whirling current using its Z power
That's
to
so
swallow
silly.
the target with full force. So it's just a big whirlpool, which are most often caused by tides and ocean currents shifting around, or river water hitting obstacles like a big rock and now the water has to like gloob around, or there could be a sinkhole opening under a body of water, or like the drain in your tub. Max Geyser is the water type attack Dynamax
fun.
Pokemon use. The user summons a heavy geyser that then causes rain that falls for 5 turns. What goes up comes down, and if you shoot a load of water up in like a geyser format, it will come down. Geysers
Yes.
are pretty powerful.
Gravity.
Basically, there's a bunch of underground water, and due to geothermal heat, the water is always heating up, building pressure until eventually it bursts up like this. And all that water in the air, well, it rains back down because gravity. And finally, the 3 Gigantamax moves. Foam Burst is the one Gigantamax Kingler uses. It shoots out a load of water for your generic Hydro Pump-esque attack, but it is mixed with a load of crab foam, which harshly lowers the speed of its opponents. Crabs are seen making foamy bubbles with their mouths all the time because
They do
well,
be
they can
doing
breathe
that.
air too, and it gets mixed up with the surrounding water and their own saliva, and thus there's loads of bubbles. The Gigantamax attack Dreadnought
Oh, I
uses
love
is
him.
Stone Surge. Again, it's the generic blast of water, but it also scatters stones all around, creating the stealth rock effect.
That's really scary, actually.
So are these little rocks mixed in with the water that it's shooting? Or is the water blast aimed a bit more at the ground to break up the rocks? Because water can do that. Canyons are caused by
True.
rivers, and as I've mentioned, water jets are used to cut steel, so they for sure can break rocks on the ground. And finally, G-Max Hydro Snipe. It's just Snipe Shot, but bigger. What a
It's literally James Bond. What
lame move to end on. Instead of a little
do you mean? It's so cool!
of water, it's a of water.
Oh my god, that's gonna be a bitch to clean up. Why'd you do that? Oh my goodness, he did it for the content. James Pond, you mean? Anyways, that is the last video we're reacting to today. And also, I'm gonna be ending stream because I need to study. And I have a lot of things I need to do today. So, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I'll probably be streaming Tuesday at noon. Don't know what we're doing on Tuesday. I guess we'll figure it out, but we'll stop the timer. I know it's a shorter stream today, guys. I'm sorry, but I do got things I need to do. But if you haven't done so yet, go join my Discord server. Follow me on all my socials, Poseidon, Mythos. Also, go buy my merch because my merch is awesome, and I think you'll really enjoy my merch. Anyways, I am gonna go ahead and yeah, I'll see you guys on Tuesday for whatever we're doing. I don't know what we're doing on Tuesday. I'll figure it out. Okay, bye-bye.